Hi. So tell me, what have you been up to? I haven't seen you in a while.
I think I've been up to too much. Really, I've got, I have too much to do and of so little time. Have you heard that before? We have a large ministry now. We minister in with the residential program, but also community counseling. We have people coming from Orlando and Tampa and Miami coming up for the day for counseling, and we have support groups.
This is wonderful. I mean, I run into people all the time around this county who you've influenced in a positive way. I remember when you came to town. Gosh, how many years ago was that now?
It was 95.
95.
You're right.
So that's 21, 22 years ago.
22 years ago.
So you and I came here about the same time.
We
I know I
did.
started my show 23 years ago. And I had a vague idea what you were all about.
I was on your show about 3 different times
Yeah.
there at the beginning. You and I kind of came in there together, and I remember what fun it was.
Yeah. And then you were sending over the other, I don't, she's still with you? I think
We've
she
got
was,
Brenda is our PR person
yeah.
now.
No, it wasn't Brenda. It was another lady who had been gay, and then I don't know what happened. Then she ended up married. Last time I ran into her in Publix. I don't know. There's so many people come and go, but it's great to see you again. Um, so for the public to have clarification of exactly what this is, what are you doing here? This you have a panel of doctors, very prestigious doctors coming in. I know that Roxanne Durkin, your husband, is coming in, and he's a pretty well-known plastic surgeon.
Yes, yes, he's a board certified plastic surgeon.
And are you married to a doctor too, or?
I'm actually Dr. Durkin's patient care coordinator.
Oh,
So,
okay. Oh, so you two work together.
Yes, we
absolutely.
do.
Oh, wonderful. I didn't realize you were from the same office. So, by the way, beautiful offices. I came to your grand opening, I don't even think it was a year ago, was it?
Of the
That
med
was
spa.
for the med spa,
Yeah.
yes.
Wow, did a great job
Oh,
over there.
thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah, that was beautiful, beautiful place, and all lovely people and very kind when I was there. And you had a huge turnout for that grand
We
opening.
did. We had about 400 people show up for our med spa opening. It was
Wonderful.
a big success.
Well, you're a perfect pool for Donna Robart to go fishing for people that need help. How did Dr. Durkin and yourselves get involved in this?
So when we moved here about 6 years ago, Dr. Ferdinand Becker introduced us to Donna Robard and the Women's Refuge. So that's how we met her, and we really liked the organization.
Okay, did you take over his practice?
Yes, we did. We purchased the practice about 6 years ago.
Okay, so how did he ferret you out, or how did you ferret him out?
So Dr. Becker actually found my husband through professional organizations,
Okay,
and we came out and visited. We loved Vero Beach. We fell in love with the community. It's got a very strong sense of community, and that's why we really wanted to move here.
wonderful. Yeah, I go to the workout place that's part of yours now.
Yes, Ocean Drive Elite
Yeah.
Physiques. Yes.
With the famous coach there, Chris.
Chris Dobson. Yes.
Yeah, what a wonderful human being he is.
Yes, he is.
You know,
I'm sorry, Chris Gurney. I was
Chris
thinking of his
Gurney. Yeah,
wife,
Chris
yes.
Gurney. That's right. And yeah, he's exceptional. He works with a lot of friends of mine. So, what is this event coming up? I mean, how did you all team up together?
Well, 18th annual event. Ferd Becker and Kathy were friends of ours, and right from the very beginning. And he offered to sponsor this. He thought it'd be really good to get the Women's Refuge out there in the public, and it was just a great combination there at the beginning, and all through the 18 years. So when Alan Durkin came in, Dr. Durkin came in, he's not quiet. Did you know that? Did you know
It has a proclivity for loquaciousness like someone else I know.
Oh, he's just wonderfully social.
Yeah.
So this was right up his alley. I mean, this was something that he liked and very
Yeah, I would say he's very user friendly.
yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he is.
Doesn't make you feel awkward or
Dancing with the
I'm,
Stars.
I'm, and I presume that women like that when they're coming in to get cosmetic surgery or something done.
Well, he's
I think
always
I
yeah.
think it relaxes them, makes them
Yes.
feel it's okay to be there and talk to them. He's not so intimidating to talk to.
Yeah, which is good.
Mhm.
Communication's always a good thing, right?
But he's very sympathetic with the women that do come to our program. They come from all over the world. We have people right now. Of course, I'm not going to say anybody's name, but from Spain and Puerto Rico,
You do.
and then we have local
How
people
do these people find you?
on the internet.
On the internet.
Yes, we
Yeah,
have a
but-
website.
But back in '95 when you got here, we didn't have the internet.
Well, we went on Rhett Palmer show, and
I
we
don't
were
know if
in
that
the
did you any good, but
Yeah, it did. Here we are. We moved into a new location. We have 3 buildings. We're
You
right
do.
behind the police station. It's really quite elegant.
now this event though, I've had this panel of prominent local physicians. This is open to all women,
And you mean to attend this?
Yeah.
Men and women.
well, men and women.
We decided that the men like to hear from the doctors as well.
Oh,
And Dr. Durkin asked each one of these people, and they all agreed to come and take 2 hours of their practice to come to this excuse me, to come and speak to us at Oak Harbor. So it's really good that we're represented by so many in the medical
now you've
field.
got some movers and shakers here. Do you want to go ahead and read that list to us, Tom?
Oh, I'd love to. The premier sponsor is our host, also Dr. Alan Durkin, the plastic surgeon. We have a keynote speaker, Lori McCormick. She's the director of the oncology services at Scully Welch Cancer Center at the hospital.
Mhm.
We're really excited about her. She's going to, give a short talk about the advances in cancer treatment. And Dr. Seth Corin, he's an orthopedic surgeon and an osteoporosis specialist. Dr. Wayne Creelman, he's a psychiatrist, and he is also on our advisory board. And Dr. Erin Forrest is a hand surgeon, and I put a plug in for her. She did my hand.
Oh, what was the problem with your hand?
Well, I had an arthritis lump. Well, how about that? That she took out.
Hmm.
And I had a carpal tunnel, which everybody tends to have when they get older. And I had cyst, and she did all that surgery right there.
Wow.
She was wonderful. And then we have Dr. Mark Malias, and he's cardiovascular and thoracic surgeon. Dr. Heather Nagel. I think Dr. Nagel has been to each one of these for 18 years.
Really?
Close to it, don't you think, Roxanne?
I
Is
think
that-
so. Yeah, she's been to everyone since I've been here.
Yeah, she's a radiologist, and Dr. Patrick Otuso
Hmm.
is a dermatologist. Dr. Derek Paul, a general surgeon. Dr.
Oh,
Ramdev,
Dr. Remdo.
vascular and endovascular surgeon, and Dr. Will Story, a medical oncologist.
From the hospital, from the new.
He's really quite a specialist, and he's caring for one of our staff from the Women's Refuge. He's very, very kind person and very perfect for this kind of treatment that she's getting, the chemotherapy.
So this is a really nice intimate setting. You'll get to hear these professionals speak, and then maybe you can accost them and get some personal information.
Well, every table we hope we hope that they'll have a doctor sitting at the table,
Oh,
and so that all the people that are sitting at that table, these 9 people and the doctor, are going to be they will not probably let the doctor eat.
yeah, I
And
know.
and
I've always wondered about being a doctor and going and playing golf. Hey, doc, how are you? I got a little problem.
well, they will. I know they're really quite elegant. Okay, the guest star. So-
Sure.
And during the dessert, they all come up to the front and sit
Mhm.
on either side of Dr. Durkin, and I have microphones, and the people out there in the audience,
Oh, can ask questions.
they write them on 2x4s,
Oh, that's a
and
wonderful idea.
Dr. Durkin fans them out to the people there up there. And
You're
it's-
going to have this at Oak Harbor,
yes,
that
yes,
large room in the
Yes.
middle. Yeah, I love that room.
yes.
That's nice. Last time I was there was for the VNA meeting. That's great. So, but to explain now, the nice thing about this is that the $120 that people are paying are not going to the specialist. They're donating their services,
Yes.
and the $120 goes to what?
Well, $60 goes for the expenses
Oh,
and the
for the
luncheon.
food and
And
yeah,
then 60,
rental of
and
the room.
other $60 is tax deductible because it goes to the Women's Refuge,
Wonderful.
the fundraiser.
And explain, you know, the Women's Refuge and do you have a missionary statement?
We do, we do.
I mean, you don't have to read it exactly, just you know the spirit of it.
The spirit of it is that we have started this because I was a psychiatric nurse before I came here in '95.
Ah,
And I saw a lot of women that were in the hospital over a long period of time
mhm.
that really needed a place to go when they got out of the hospital, or a lot of women didn't have anywhere to go, even to a hospital, that were depressed and were anxious and going through life situations and divorces or deaths or health problems or something like that.
So you're a safety net of
Yeah,
sorts.
well, there's 6 cities of refuge in the Bible that God uh, allocated for people that were in trouble,
Hmm.
and I don't know why there weren't 7, but maybe some theologian will answer that question. But we named it the refuge for people to come to, and they can come for women can come for 2 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or 2 years. We just had somebody finish the 2-year internship program, and she is getting married next month. So, and she is in Atlanta and working with somebody, hopefully, that they're going to open a refuge in Atlanta.
Well, it must be very rewarding to see these lives turn around like that. You know, a couple of years ago, Barbara and I went through cancer. She had stage 4 lymphoma, and you know, it was like a dark, dark, dark tunnel for those 2 years. 9 hospital visits, stays,
Wow.
and 7 operations. And you know, the first thing she says to me, she says, about 2 weeks into it, she said, "Are you going to leave me now?"
Oh, yes.
And I was very happy and proud to say no, and it never even entered my mind. And I think it's horrible the way some people will leave those who they've vowed that they will stick by, you know. And so, you know, and it certainly strengthens you. It's certainly scary,
It is.
you know. It's a very scary, dark time, and so it's nice that I mean, it's great that there's a safety. How do you get these women though from Spain? I don't. All on the internet, and they're flying to Vero Beach, Florida. Like,
Yeah, and not having been here, but see, our website is real informative. It's got
yeah.
pictures and tells probably more than what I'd like to say. You know, some of the unflattering pictures that you have when you get older. So you can see I'm still a little bit vain at this age. Oh
Yeah,
my
you'll
goodness.
notice that I have the camera on you three. See this? Look, we're on Facebook and YouTube. I just put the back of my balding head.
Oh no, you're aging well.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about
Okay.
it.
All right.
No flattery here
Okay.
today.
No, I
Remember
don't
what the
flatter.
Bible says? Beware of a flattering tongue.
No, that
No.
wasn't flattering.
Oh, all right.
That
Well, you're
was
sweet.
kindness.
You're so sweet. Yeah, that was kindness. Yes, it was. So I'm always amazed though that how the man upstairs has added numbers to what you do.
I know we have 12 staff members right now, and we have opened up a resale store. Well, we did that a long time ago, but we've enlarged it, and it's over there behind Kmart in that little plaza, and right next to Tambourine. We'll give them a little pitch there too. But our resale store is just delightful. I hope people will go and check us out.
Now, Mrs. Durkin, how did you get swayed into this? How did this all come about?
You mean in helping the
Yeah,
women's
how
refuge?
did you two meet and get connected? And
Well, like I said earlier, Dr. Becker introduced us to
okay,
Donna several years ago, and Alan and I were very impressed with the organization. It's a very unique organization, and we had never seen another one like it in any other city that we've lived in.
hmm
And we like to support things that improve the lives of people that are living and working right here in Vero Beach. And the Women's Refuge is one such organization that does a great job at it.
yeah, and Kaylin Kelly, you've been pulled into this, you work in the office. How do you feel about this? Was there something, some message, was on your heart that you wanted to express today when you thought about coming in to do our radio show?
Well, I've actually been to the Women's Refuge.
Oh.
After the symposium last year, I was invited to come tour the facility, and I have to say it's wonderful. And it's a Christian organization, so I'm a Christian, 100% in favor of helping people that need help, especially in this way. And I spoke to the counselors there. Everybody was very friendly. If you're somebody in need of speaking to somebody, you don't have to live there. They have counselors that you can come to meet with on a weekly basis or monthly basis. So there's a lot of activity there. There's a lot going on. A lot of people in the community. A few weeks after the symposium, I saw a couple of patients, without naming names, that I actually saw there. So I think it's good for the community.
Team effort here.
Yeah.
It really is, and we've always, ever since Dr. Durkin followed Dr. Becker, he just followed with the same support. He's followed with the same interest and concern, and we have grown. We are actually our whole facility, all of it there's debt free. And we really keep the cost down for the women coming in. It costs us about $3,200 for a woman to stay there a month, and we charge $600.
Wow.
So
you've got to pull in a lot of donations.
Well, and we don't.
And the government's not going to help you because you're a Christian.
We don't have any government funding, and we believe that the church and the churches and interested people that care about women and their families will support us. We have some groups, one group that's really it's sad, but it's growing, and that's our sexual abuse group. It's Shelter from the Storm, and that's for women that have ever been sexually abused. And now the percentage is 1 out of 3 women. And we also have codependency groups, and that's 12 weeks, and that's for people that they can't live without the other person's doing well. It came out of the alcoholic family, a long time ago. So now we call everybody's a little bit codependent, and some people are queens of codependency.
Well, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is all about emancipation from anything that's got you shackled and chained, whether it's poverty, whether it's ill health, or whether it's abuse. By the way, I think it's 1 out of 5 men have also been sexually abused.
I know.
Little shocker there.
It is a shocking thing.
Usually men are more aggressive, but so you got 1 out of 3 women and 1 out of. Well, listen, you ladies, it's great to see you all, Kaylin Kelly and Dr. Roxanne Durkin. Well, I don't know, Roxanne Durkin, Mrs. Roxanne Durkin, married to Dr. Durkin. Sorry about that. And of course, Donna Robart. I hope you all enjoyed. Is there anything I would have been remiss to ask you before we say goodbye today?
The date.
Oh, yeah, that's very important. Okay, get at your calendars, ladies. And by the way, we'd like to donate. If you want to put together some sort of a little piece, we'd like to donate.
I've got
an
right
ad
here.
an ad that we can run for you or something.
Okay.
We'll work those details out, all right?
And our telephone number, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead, please.
It's 770-4424.
Okay, and the date of this is?
March the 10th.
Oh, March the 10th.
Yes.
So we've got ample time to
Yes.
promote this a couple of times. Okay, great. We'll take the recording of the show too and play it some other times. All right.
All right. Thank you so much for having us.
Nice to
Thank
see
you
you
very
all.
much.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
finally meet you.
Yes, thank
Nice
you.
to see you again,
Nice to see you.
and always good to see you.
Thank you, Rhett.
This is the mayor of the airwaves. We've got to take a break. It's not over yet. All right. So that go okay? That everybody gets those going?
Yeah.
You never quite know what's. Oh, I thought it
Good.
went well.
Okay, good.
It's most important if you all thought it went well.
Rich, you have not lost it. You
Yeah.
still have it. You're just, in fact, what you sound like to me is that you sound really comforting and informative all at the same time. And that's nice to hear. Really.
Thank you, Don.
And I heard about your cancer and Barbara's, and I'm so glad that you're cured of that.
Yeah, she's been cancer free for 2 years, but the doctor, maybe you all know this, but the doctor just told us, Dr. McGarry, the oncologist over here, said, okay, it's 2 years now. When she just went through a battery of tests again, the thing that goes boom, 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 what is an MRI or something. But anyway, so declared her cancer free. They don't tell you, of course, until after the 2 years, but they said during this period, you're highly likely to maybe have a recidivism or whatever they would call it. Whereas after 2 years, it goes just plummets as far as getting it back. So
she passed her 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Well, it's hell on earth. I mean, she lost all her hair. She finally has her hair back.
I had a grandson that just went through his 2 year cancer. He was 11 months when he was diagnosed with cancer.
How old?
11 months.
Oh,
That's a heartbreaker.
That means here she'll be here till 9, but then she'll
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna bring her in now. Okay. Well, ladies, thank you
Thank
very,
you
very
for
much for
having
taking
us.
time out of your schedules to be with us.
And this is the sponsorship opportunity is right there.
Yeah, and this will replay again tomorrow morning between 6 and 6:30. But I know you all probably won't be up that early, but we'll play it some other time during.
Well, I'm a 4-year-old, so I'm.
Oh.
I have a
Lucky
husband
you.
that has to be at work at 5 in the morning.
Well, thank you
Yeah,
very much
nice
for
to meet
having
you.
us.
Yeah,
It's very nice to meet you.
Yeah, your husband keeps threatening for us to get together and talk about doing some work together.
Sure, we'd love to do that.
Okay.
Send someone over.
She's a doctor too.
Sure.
Oh, you are a doctor too,
Well,
so
I
I
have a
didn't.
PhD.
Well, that's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
not
Great.
a
What do you have? What are you a doctor in?
biochemistry, molecular biology.
Oh, good.
She's a little bit smart. Oh my goodness.
Smart is.
Surrounded by intelligent people.
Yeah, I think so. Wow. Well, I hope you all enjoyed yourself.
Thanks so much.
Okay. And we'll get an ad together through Brenda
All
to
right.
run.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I guess you call it a promotional piece or whatever.
In the studio. Okay.
Okay. Have a seat. Okay. It's going to be on YouTube. Let's see.
Got all kinds of things going on this morning.
Okay, we'll be right with you. I'll be there also.
Okay.
Did you all get a copy of our latest edition?
No, thank you.
You like one too?
Nice show, ladies. Good job.
Thank you, Mr. B. It's, we didn't stumble over the word.
Nah. Have your mics up. Just let it go like this.
Yes.
You were too? Everybody was.
Excuse me, Mr. B.
I gotta go down to your place. I've lived here in Vero Beach for 4 years now. I'm Paul Bertazzo, Mr. B.
Mr. B, nice to meet
And
you.
we came here for a visit at Christmas of 2000 and
Thank you, Rhett.
well.
meeting you.
Everybody
And
happy?
I saw your place on the
Good.
corner.
Yeah, what I want
In
you to
fact,
do
I
is,
even called. And
either
I think you're open in the afternoon.
We're open all day,
Okay.
but we're a market and a restaurant,
Yeah,
so the
yeah.
restaurant's open
It's gonna benefit.
in the daytime and then Friday and Saturday night. Friday and Saturday night you need a reservation, but it's fun.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it is. It's like,
Okay.
got a couple of things
You're
going
gonna
on.
lean forward and talk right into this. Okay.
Or I
I've been here
can
before.
with you,
Okay.
do it on my iPhone, and then I send it to a guy and they flip it.
Okay,
So you have to let me know what's convenient.
Well, he's got to do some of this.
What time is it?
Now, Randy is here. Randy is running for the school board.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Yeah, he has to leave by 9 too.
Does he? Okay.
That's
So-
why if I'm in the way, I'll come back.
Just stop with the in the way stuff.
Where would you like him to sit?
Hello,
Rhett.
Kimmy.
How are you?
Oh, Kimmy. Didn't she make a great food? She's such a sweetie pie.
She's got
Uh-oh.
weight. She's worried about losing weight, just like you. She's really thinks,
Pain
yeah.
in the ass.
Yeah. Kimmy, speak into the microphone. Pull your chair up close. It'll be easier, okay? If he's gonna tell you,
Are we gonna be a second? Can I run to the bathroom quick?
a second chair, do you know where the bathroom is? Go way in the back, go to the left.
Okay, we're just gonna have the two of you in here right now. He's capable. But I can't have the, that's what I told him. He walked in during the show and I said, now I'm gonna stop this walking now. It takes me right off.
Very
If the
distracting.
water's on here, if the coffee's on here, we're just gonna have to live without it.
How about-
Once we go on, no one's to walk through that door anymore.
Well, I think that's great, because right now, up until now, everything's very professional. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
What time do you want Randy on?
Oh, when we get done with Kimmy,
Okay. Kimmy had to go to the bathroom.
that's not allowed.
You would want to clean up the mess, would you? Mhm. Mhm. Lovely ladies. They make such beautiful women today, don't they, Rhett?
So who what? Say that again. What?
I said lovely ladies. They make
Yeah.
beautiful women today.
I said they make beautiful women.
Open us next, Rhett. Open us next.
Okay, there you go.
Close that door tight, Kimmy.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
I knew they were a little nervous. It made me a little nervous
Yeah. it's
because I want to
funny.
make sure that they have, a comfortable, good time.
Isn't it interesting how those feelings are transferred? You're very sensitive. He is. He can tell right away a mood.
This is the mayor of the airways. You need to get those omega-3s. Well, there's a delightful way to get those omega-3s. They say that will increase your longevity, make you more beautiful or handsome. And today on our show, Beverly, we invite Kimmy, the wonderful Kimmy. How about a round of applause for Kimmy from Joey's Seafood Shack?
Good morning, Kimmy. Yeah.
Remember we wrote a jingle a few years ago. What was that? Joey's
Joey's Seafood Shack
Seafood Shack. Once you've been there, you'll always come back to Joey's Seafood Shack. Something like that, remember?
I remember.
You play that piano. She has a piano over in the corner over there. By the way, Joey's Seafood Shack is not just a marketplace and it's not just a restaurant. It's a combination of both. I think first and foremost, you're a market, really. And then people kind of hung around, and the next thing you know is you've got white linen tables. And it's like, I don't know, have you been through the Amalfi Coast in Italy?
Not yet.
Okay.
This summer.
I got to go once, and for some reason, your place, and those who are travelers will understand this, it's just so welcoming. That's what they do in Italy. They have these places that are family run and operated, and you come in, and it's just like when you come into Joey's Seafood Shack and you get seated. Most of the time, you, Kimmy, are there waiting on people, and it's absolutely the best pan-fried cod I've ever had in my life.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, Joey must be irritated with it because it's the only thing he wants to always stretch me to try something else. But
you always have the same thing every time.
yeah, I know. Except this last time, we got it broiled.
Broiled.
Because we're attempting to. I wonder what the difference is from the fried and the broiled. No, this was originally Joey's dream, his vision.
That was the restaurant's my dream. The seafood market was his dream, and we joined together.
Yeah, and you two are a great team.
We really are having a great time.
I marvel. I don't know what the difference is. I guess I have this little theory. I think that money food makes people fat, but love food doesn't. Now, maybe I might be wrong about that, but I think that when a chef or a mom or a grandpa or whoever it might be makes food and there's love in it. I really believe there's a transference of love. So when you go into Joey's Seafood Shack, though, he loves what he's doing behind that counter.
He does.
And you love what you're doing, greeting people.
I do.
Yeah. The only negative might be is that you love to visit with people so long. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
other people in the kitchen have got to make sure they listen to you because you're out there chatting it up, so to speak.
I am.
Now
And singing it up and chatting it up.
And chatting it up. Yes, Beverly.
I know that your place is known for fresh fish, but when Rhett and I had lunch there, I was so impressed with your vegetables. You had on the dish Brussels sprouts and spinach and onion. I have
And
never
a combo
tasted.
saute, yeah.
That was extraordinary. So for people who want to have a lot of vegetables, exactly, this is the place.
Well,
Also,
we tried to add the vegetables because we had a lot of starches and a lot of women come and they want the healthy alternatives and people want the healthy alternatives. So that's
because
why.
I know you also have Italian food.
Right.
And you can get this, you can get the seafood to go, you can get the Italian food to go.
Right. We
You
have
do
a
a
whole
lot of-
takeout line now. It's
Yeah.
Kimmy's specials to go food. And we started with one and now we have about 12 different ones and you can just take it and bake it. So,
Take
you
it
know,
and bake it.
or you can even put it on your own dish and make believe you made it yourself. And that's what a lot of people do too. Because
You could have
we
company
can do
over,
it
you'll
in
never know.
big trays, we can do it in little trays, and then of course we have the individuals that feed too. And we have everything: chicken parmesan, shrimp parmesan, we've got lasagna, manicotti, and
Hey,
it's
you're
all
making me
homemade.
hungry.
I want to make you hungry, then you'll come back for lunch today.
Yeah, want to go back to lunch today? So, where did Joey get his training? Because there seems to be some people have a knack for picking out really good fresh fish.
He worked 30 years at Fulton Fish Market, so his
Oh,
whole
that's a famous
background.
fish market on Long Island, is it?
No, it's in New York now.
New York City.
Now it's Hunts Point in Bronx. It moved,
Yeah.
but he was there and he
Wow,
had his
how do
own
they move a
clam
fish
route
market?
and fish market.
Really?
You know, he worked for the Fulton Fish Market and he had a clam route down here. And then he did the farmers markets, and that was why he decided to open up the fish store. And then I joined him and said, let's take all the fish because what are you going to do with it? And he gave me a shot to be his partner, which has worked out really great. And so I started making soups and salads and then the to-go foods, and then people started bringing us tables and chairs, and that's how we ended up with the restaurant.
And I noticed one thing. There's not a fishy smell there. And
No
I
fishy
never
smell.
knew it before, but I've now learned that if you smell fishiness, something's awry. When you go into a fish market or a fish restaurant, you should not smell the fish, and you don't.
That's correct. If you
Yeah.
pick up a piece of salmon, for example, it should smell like cucumber if it's fresh.
Hmm.
So, you know, fish isn't smelly. If it's smelly, it's no good.
And now fish is very volatile. I often wonder people in the industry. I mean, so if something doesn't sell that week, like if Rhett doesn't come in to get his lunch of cod
No, it has to sell that day, actually.
that day,
So, you know,
or it's out the garbage.
it's not in the garbage, but our shelf life is a day. So we try to sell everything we have in the day, and the next morning,
Yeah.
then I'll be making soups. I'll make grouper salad,
Oh.
salmon cakes, whatever we have left over. It's not
So
bad.
it stays
But
fresh
then we
and
get
uncooked
fresh
for
fish
one day,
every morning. We get
and then
fresh
you
fish.
cook it.
Right.
If it doesn't sell on the first day, it gets cooked.
Right, and we try very hard to make sure that we don't over order, so that you know. But the clams have a shelf life of about 7 days. So the clams, we boil down the clams. We make homemade clam chowder, New England Manhattan. We make conch chowder with the broth. So everything that we have, we're using to make different delicious, foods.
Now the lobster bisque.
Amazing.
No, it's
I'm
dangerous. It
salivating.
really should come with a danger label.
And
or
it does.
something.
And it's got big, fresh pieces of lobster meat
And
in it.
what is that? When I've had friends over, like I brought New York Times bestselling author Debbie Maycomber there
Oh, she's so
With-
sweet.
with Wayne, her husband, and we got this big platter for the center of the table. Explain what that is with the shrimp and the.
Did you get the stone crabs or you
This-
got
it
the
had stone crabs,
all
it
the
had
raw?
shrimp, yeah.
Oh, so we have clams and oysters on the half shell. A lot of places don't have that these days. Stone crabs, shrimp cocktail. So that was a combination of all the raw seafood that we carry, and it's a favorite.
Well, what amazes me about shrimp is that every time I go to Joey's Seafood Shack, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the air with us, um, I just don't have to worry. It's cooked perfectly. Like I don't like shrimp that's undercooked, and I don't like shrimp that's overcooked. I don't know how you all do that. I mean, I'm not a detail guy,
Right.
so doing what some people do for a living, and then which is acceptable. As you get to be older, you realize it's okay. I guess you might say it's a little humility that comes through living, hopefully, that you learn that okay, it's okay not to be feel washed up with feelings of inferiority just because somebody else knows how to do something you don't. I would not be able to do what you guys do ever. I couldn't take the stress. I'd probably die the first day of a heart
It's
attack
pretty
right there.
stressful.
I don't know how you all. I know you have a love of serving. Like I'm a foodie.
Well, my father had a restaurant since I'm 4 years old. So in New York,
Are
one
you
in
Italian?
Queens. No, I just
What are you?
want to be.
You're just a one.
I thought I was. My father bought 2 Italian restaurants, so
And did
half
you-
my life I thought I was Italian. It was a very sad day. Kim, you are not Italian. Oh my gosh, I can't believe
You
it.
have the charm of an Italian,
I
really.
try,
Well,
but that's how I learned how to cook, and we had seafood Italian restaurants. So the combination when he had the fish, and I was like, you can't just sell fish. You got to have a restaurant too. And he said, okay, Kimmy, let's do it. So a year later, he made me his partner, and now we're on 7 years.
Wow, it's been 7 years.
7 years, and
Feels
we're
like just
together
yesterday.
too.
Right
so.
across the street, by the way, from the old Press Journal building, kitty corner to Boston Market. And any foodie out there, whether you have a Boston Market or not, you certainly know where it is. And it's just kitty corner. You're right next to the paint store,
Right, and Sonic.
Benjamin Moore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're in the same building as
Yeah.
Benjamin Moore, and
That's
we're
a
next to the
great
Sonic.
location. Always ample parking.
And we're open for dinner on Friday and Saturday night, but
Only.
you really need a reservation.
Yeah.
You can try to stop in, and lunch we do every day.
Yep.
And you don't need a reservation for that. Sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's just regular. And we are closed on Sunday because that's fun day. So
Sunday is fun
Sunday
day.
it's fun day. We need one day off.
Now, you're originally from Long Island.
I am. Queens first when I was a kid, and then Long Island. We had a place in Queens and we had a place on Long Island. And old Italian, 93 years old, was going back to Italy and asked my dad if he wanted to take over the restaurant. So my dad bought the
Really?
restaurant, and so we learned all the recipes from this very, very knowledgeable chef. And he
Okay.
taught us how to make all this, and that's why we have homemade marinara and homemade bolognese and Alfredo, and they're old recipes. So they're dear to my heart because I've been cooking them since I'm a kid.
Well, one thing I think you learn from the Italians, at least I is that fresh is the key.
Fresh is the key.
Fresh is when you're in Italy, you'll notice that people don't. That's why you always see it's almost like a proverb, the photo of the person going with the big loaf of bread sticking out of the bag, because they either take the bicycle, the scooter, or they walk down to the local shop and they get the fish of the
Right.
day, the bread of the day,
Right.
Mhm.
and that's the way it really should be. I
Right.
mean, they say that when you pluck like an orange, and if it loses, 60% of its vitamin C content within the first 30 hours. We were made to pluck and eat. We were made to dine on fresh,
Right.
and it makes all the difference, doesn't it?
It does. We have nothing frozen. Nothing. Everything we
Except some to-go stuff.
Right.
You
But
can get the to-go
so
Italian.
every day we make something different. So today we're making eggplant rollatini,
Big
and that
plant
will go into the
rollatini.
big showcase tonight it will go into the freezer. Tomorrow we will make chicken parmesan or chicken franchise. So every day we have a new fresh.
So it's fresh. Get it that day, or then it becomes a frozen item.
So it doesn't.
And
So it's always fresh,
Yeah.
and nothing lasts because we go through probably 2 or 3 cases of eggplant a week, just in
now, how is it
to-goes.
that it's amazing how word travels though, because you'll find some very notable people. Now here it is, and this is what's nice. It's like you've taken it, and it's a it's a fish market. But like I said, in Italy, that's what you'll find. You find a little hole-in-the-wall fish market, and then they've set up some tables with white linen, and that's what you have at Joey's Seafood. You can feel very comfortable going in, but I noticed that the beach population beats down your door, and a lot of times your reservations are filled up weeks in advance. So if you're listening to this broadcast and we've made Joey sound appealing to you, I urge you to call and make a reservation. And what's the phone number over there?
It's 918-8855.
Let's take a break and we'll talk more.
Sure.
Okay, we're talking with Kimmy. Kimmy and Joey are an item here in town, and 7 years ago they started Joey's Seafood Shack. And don't go in and buy the cod. Get something else. So there's ample supply of cod for Rhett. It's the best, folks, the best pan-fried cod I've ever had. And I don't know if one of your secrets for me anyways, she made the mistake of making her pan-fried potatoes for me once.
Homemade French fries.
Homemade French fries. And she makes them in the pan. They're awesome. Dangerously awesome. Of course, when we were there yesterday, you can attest to the fact, no French fries. We had sauteed spinach and what were the Brussels sprouts?
Brussels
Which
sprouts,
were
a little
delicious.
bit of onion.
A little bit of seafood on the side. Not seafood.
Seaweed.
Seaweed.
Yes.
We'll be right back and continue talking with Kimmy from Joey's Seafood Shack, kitty corner from the Boston Market on US 1 in Vero Beach, right across the street from the former Press Journal building. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Center for Advanced Eye Care. 5 eye doctors that genuinely care about your eye care: Dr. Mal, Dr. Schnell, Dr. Katz, Dr. Gadadaday, and Dr. Brannigan. Trust me on this, folks. You certainly want Center for Advanced Eye Care. It's where I set my mom when she was on this earth. It's where I go, and those that I care about go. Center for Advanced Eye Care. Indian River Walk-in Clinic was voted best urgent care.
Excellent.
What a fun job you have.
I think.
Yeah, love it. It's like being on stage.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
God's been
Both
kind
of
to me.
you,
That's okay.
both of you, you told so much in such an interesting way. It's great. I can't wait to go and eat what you're making.
Oh,
Oh my God.
are you writing music again? Oh my God.
Joey's Seafood Shack. Won't you
You'll
been
have
there?
approximately 7 minutes. 7 minutes to do.
Seafood Shack. Once you've been there, you'll always come back. Joey's. Joey's.
That's not the song you wrote, but okay.
Yeah, I forget. It was similar to that though.
How did it go? Got it. I have it on. I have it in my library.
What time is Randy coming?
I'll take it. Don't worry.
I
Don't
can't
worry.
rem-
Put it in a
I
few minutes.
can't remember.
He's got plenty of time.
Okay, good.
Come on down to Joey's Seafood Shack. Da, 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 da. Come on down to Joey's Seafood Shack. I don't remember the words, but
Joey's.
we made a song. We must have spent a half an hour one day laying around on the piano with his guitar, because I had a guitar down there, and we made the cutest song in harmony.
He was swimming in the sea. He said, when I get caught, I hope they serve me at Joey's or Wheeling. Otherwise, I'd rather have you throw me back. When I die, I want to be served at Joey's Seafood Shack. There was this little fish, he was swimming in the sea. He said, when they catch me, I want to be served at Joey's. If that ain't the truth, then just throw me back. Cause when I'm served, baby, I want to be served up at Joey's Seafood Shack.
That was better than the other one.
Stand by. 30 seconds to rejoin.
Yay! Fantastic.
You like that? I like that. Little fish, she was a swimming in the sea. Said, I want to know when you catch me that I'll be served for dinner at Joey's Seafood Shack. If it ain't gonna be Joey's, then why don't you just throw me back?
Just throw me back.
Little fish, he was swimming in the sea. He said, I want to know when you catch me. I want to be served by Joey. If you're not going to serve me at Joey's, then throw me back. I want to be the dinner at Joey's Seafood Shack. Ooh. All right. All right, Mr. B. All right, Mr. B. It wasn't that good, Mr. B.
It was good. It was good.
The only thing is I didn't put my recorder on. I wanted to record that.
I thought you did.
No. Should I do it
Wow.
again? Should I do it again to have it recorded? So we can
Right.
use it in the future.
If you want to.
Okay. There was a little fish. She was swimming in the sea. He said, I want to know if you're gonna catch me. Well, I want to be served up at Joey's. If not, then throw me back, 'cause I want to be the dinner at Joey's Seafood Shack.
Yay.
All
Wow.
right, that's better. And we got Kimmy in here today. Good morning, Kimmy. Kimmy is the owner with Joey of Joey's Seafood Shack on US 1, kitty corner from the Boston Marketo and across the street from the Press Journal. I always bring up the marketplace, the Boston Marketplace, because if you're a foodie, you know where that is, whether you go there or not.
We go there.
Do you?
Oh, yeah, I
Good
love
chicken?
chicken.
Yeah.
Great.
Funny how restaurateurs.
Spinach is good.
Oh,
Cream
the
spinach,
the
which I
cream
don't know how to
spinach.
make.
Yeah.
I leave it to them.
Have you had the cream spinach at the Ocean Grill?
I have.
Yeah, I think they probably have the best cream spinach.
I have pretty good.
Well,
cream
actually,
spinach.
CJ Cannons also has a really good cream spinach.
Oh, I haven't
You know, I
been
should
there
really
in a
take
while.
you. I should really take you guys out to dinner
That'd be nice.
because you feed a lot of people. And I wondered, is food a language of love for you? It must be,
Since I'm a little kid.
because they say we each have different languages.
Right.
Like I've got a friend, and I was thinking about him the other day. He's up at Johns Island, and he's always buying gifts for other people. And I said, Rhett, you need to go out and buy your friend a gift because people give what they want too.
Right. That's true.
Like I have a friend, Matt Sage, and he's always been a big giver to me. He's a great friend. But I remember a couple of years ago when I gave him some, I almost snatched it out of my hand. It was so quick that I don't think he
Oh.
realized it. And I realized, oh, he likes to get gifts.
Right.
So I got to give him more gifts.
Oh, that's
You know.
nice.
So when you find people, now some people it could be a hug. That could be their language of love. Some people it's listening to them.
Right.
I guess that Gary Smalley is the guy who has that book out, The Languages of Love.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah.
5 love languages, that one?
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
I
that's
read
been
that.
on the bestsellers list now for like 20
100
years.
years. I know, it's true.
I mean, they wrote that one book. He's got to be worth a gazillion bucks, but he's helped a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Just like that. Just that little. Now I bought 2 copies and I've yet to read it in its entirety. But anyway,
You can get it on audio cassette, by the way.
that would. Oh, you've listened to it. Oh, you've listened to
I
it.
have.
Uh huh.
I have,
So,
because I've had a lot of lives. I've had a lot of loves.
A lot of loves and a lot of
Joey's my
loves.
best one,
Aw.
but a lot of loves.
Yeah, Joey is a sweetheart.
He is. He's the
he-
best.
He's different from you and I.
Yeah.
You and I are like A-type personalities.
I know.
We get on immediately. We
I
hit
make
it
him
off.
crazy.
Yeah. Joey's like, he's back there being quiet. You try to get his attention. It's like he'll look at you kind of like a glaze, like like a frog in a rainstorm.
Exactly.
Blink, blink. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, you know.
It's a good
True.
combination.
And love. Talk about love. We have, you know, how you play your guitar. We have the piano. So
Yeah.
people come on Friday and Saturday night, and that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for me to transform myself from server to piano player and singer. And then the music begins.
I
So
know.
it's a very unique little
Oh, but you
nick
play
we
that.
have.
You play and sing that. So
Yeah.
the
So if you don't
piano
like
man.
listening to music, don't come.
You know that's what I used. You know that's what I used to do for a living.
I did too.
Oh, really?
In New York, I used to play.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
With the piano?
In a piano, yeah.
Oh, well, you had class. I
We
was
had
just
a piano in our restaurant too. That's
Oh,
what
your
gave me
dad's
the
restaurant?
idea. Yeah,
Long Island
on
or
Long Island.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
not
you?
the one in Queens.
I was the guy that was always singing, "Keep me searching for a heart of gold,
There you
and
go.
I'm getting old." You know,
Yep.
or just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone.
The 70s songs. That's what we used to do.
Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I've seen fire, I've seen rain. Anyway, you sing those songs over and over again, and I always felt like, you know, everybody else was having the fun, and I was over in the corner singing these, you know, songs. I was like, hey, I think I'd rather be the hammer than the nail, you know.
Right.
But it still is fun, you know. It's like I think I have this latent desire to want to go. I was just thinking when you mentioned that, I'd like to come over some Friday night. We'd
We
have to
should. It would be
practice that.
so much fun. You should see. Some people bring instruments. It's
Do
fun.
they?
And the kids play on Friday night because they're raising money for their trip to Austria. So we have 2 violin players, a
No.
piano player, and all of them are like savants. And you know, they've been raising money for over a year.
Great.
Well, that's the end of round 2. We've been talking with Kimmy from Joey's Seafood Shack. I'm Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves. Got to take a break, and we'll be back. And once you've been there, you'll be back to Joey's Seafood Shack. Ooh, it tastes so good.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Wonderful.
so crazy.
If that doesn't do it, nothing will.
Oh, what's this? Oh, some gift certificates.
No.
No, but I'm going to bring you them. I haven't even been there yet.
Well, you better get one of them. Let's see.
I haven't been to
let me
the
see.
store
I
yet. I
think
have to
have
take
a-
my son
Are you
to
going to be
school.
there for lunch?
Yeah, I will. I just
Hold on.
have to go to my I have training this morning at 9 o'clock.
What kind of training?
Weightlifting. No, I'm trying to
Great.
lose weight, so
Hold on a second. Let me just see what.
I'll do this gift certificates for you today if you want.
Yeah,
I can either
I
drop
can't
them
come
off
for
in,
lunch. I got to go to the CPA thing that's happening at
I could drop them off, or
Oak Harbor. Shucks, I
however
wanted
you
to
want.
go.
I could drop them off. Do you want me to drop
No, I'll
them off?
stop over. Oh yeah, they give you an excuse to be on.
All right.
You want to come by sometime tomorrow
Why don't we do it
or Monday? Okay. Why don't you stop by?
Today's in a row.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Can you
Okay.
come by Monday at 10 a.m.?
Okay, Monday at 10.
Like 9:45, get here.
Yeah, let me just write it
We'll go
down.
live Monday from 10 to 10:30.
Mhm.
Monday. I tried to get Joey to come with me, but he's not.
Oh, he does not.
You're
Talk. But
the
it'd be great if
talker.
he could bring him.
Yeah, I know. Well,
He'll talk.
he's sweetie.
He's opened up a bit.
A little.
Because,
Did a
All
great
right.
job.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks
Kimmy.
for having me.
Okay, well.
Rhett,
Thanks for the memory.
say hi to Barbara.
You smell good.
You smell good too. Thank you. Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Have fun working out, kid.
Thanks. See you Monday.
Yep. Monday, 10 o'clock. Maybe see you before. Then you're gonna have the kids there Friday night?
I don't know if they're playing this Friday, because they're practicing on New Year's Eve, but they've been playing it every year.
I would love to. Because I'm talking to the Oh, they won't hear me. I'd love
All right, let me find out the next day if they can be there.
Yeah.
Because right now they're practicing for their New Year's
What'd you say? I don't know.
No, it's just little background music. And they do all the stuff, you know, the 70s, like the stuff you were, the Beatles. Yeah, great.
Where do you work out?
I'm working out with Paul and Steve Heiser at
Is this the next guest?
Well, my gym is Jungle Club. I go to them when I'm in real trouble.
right. Well, they must do good. She's driving a Mercedes.
He is gonna do this segment.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Is Ron supposed to be in here looking at this stuff too?
Well, that's what I'm not- I'll figure it out. Because otherwise it's not, we'll play.
Yeah. Come on in.
All right, great. There you go, see, healthy stuff. I
Mm.
redeemed myself for the donuts.
Okay, where do you want it to sit, in the middle? Where?
How do you right here?
Right.
Is Mr. B, can he hear me?
I can hear you in the control room. Mr. B is using the bathroom.
Okay. No, I wanted to tell him something about donuts.
You're not gonna have that. I don't wanna spill, okay?
I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah, let me have that.
I was gonna go around and put it
Mmm.
in.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. We went from fish
When
to
you speak,
vegetables,
he told you.
this
speak.
side.
Yeah, get in closer, Randy.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you think those ladies had a good time?
Oh, well, they seem to. I told you, I thought, what beautiful women, just great. So they gave me an invitation to their function. Will you be going? It's a prayer. Yeah, no, it's a symposium and luncheon.
Did they give you a complimentary ticket?
No.
Oh.
It tells me the cost is 120. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
It's hefty.
I'm sure it's very worthwhile. It's at the Oak Harbor Club. Great. Mhm. So he has a long campaign ahead of him. He said he's more than a year, you're gonna be
It'll be
campaigning.
2018, August of 2018, but I'm starting nice and early this time around.
2018.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people to
Are you
reach.
Democrat or Republican?
Republican.
Okay, we'll talk about Trump.
Okay.
What day is it? Thursday?
Yes, sir.
The 9th of February. Mhm. I don't dare ask you any questions now because we saved it for on
No,
air.
that's fine.
But mhm.
That's fine. I just got a text from Jim Pagano to say, give you his best.
Hmm? You work with Jim?
He was my next door neighbor for a long time. He just moved over to by Grand Harbor, but he lived next to me when we moved in for about 10 years. Good guy.
Do you need your water?
No, I'm fine, thank
I
you.
lived at Grand Harbor when I first got to town.
Oh wow. Yeah, I play golf there on Saturdays. I enjoy that very much.
No. You look familiar. Your name sounds familiar. We've met before, haven't we?
Yeah, I see you all the time. I see you at CJ Cannon's, and I see you at Panera in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I ran in 2014 when that was my first run here, and now I'm really ready to do it.
You're motivated for a reason.
Well, I have an 11-year-old in the school system. That's a big.
Okay, hold on. Say that on there.
Yeah.
Mhm, gotcha.
I don't want you doing the interview now
No, that's fine. That's
because I
fine.
want that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask him those things.
Mhm.
Skin cancer is no laughing matter. You should have a full body scan every year at Treasure Coast Dermatology with Dr. Tim Ide. He's over on 37.
Standby, open is next.
Do you want him to have the headset?
Yeah.
That's it. That one.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
President Donald Trump appeared to lobby an appeals court Wednesday to uphold his proposed travel ban from 7 Muslim-majority nations, arguing that national security is at stake and suggesting that judges sometimes act politically. I don't ever want to call a court biased, he said, so I won't call it biased, and we haven't had a decision yet. And that was Trump telling a group of sheriffs and police chiefs and discussing the travel ban case pending before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. You know, I saw a video the other day of President Clinton when he was in office, and he said everything that Trump is saying. He said, you know, I know we're a country of immigrants. We can't forget that, but we have got to secure our borders. And he went on saying everything that Trump's been saying, which makes me a little concerned. Does it mean that the Democrat, now how many years ago was Clinton president?
He was president 10 years ago, 9 years ago.
Okay, no, because you
Before
got,
Bush.
yeah, so you got 8 years with Obama,
Right.
8 years with
Oh,
Bush, that's
sorry.
16.
17 years ago.
Yeah. I'm chewing on some celery. Mr. B did not bring in donuts today. He brought me celery. It's the only food you can eat, and it takes more energy and calories to digest it than it does
Yeah.
carbs in it.
Mhm.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't, but I did learn something.
So you can safely eat lots of celery.
Good to know.
So, excuse me for chewing on my celery this morning. We will put those vegetables away so Rhett will not be tempted to eat the celery on air. So, anyway, we have Randy Heimler in here today.
Yes, sir.
We've met before.
Yes, many times. I've met you at CJ Cannon's. I've met you at Panera. I've met you in the street. I've met you
All the
everywhere.
food places. So,
Yep.
what are you, a foodie?
I'm a foodie.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm Panera every morning. I meet my friends there, particularly Joe Coakley. I see him every morning. And
Yeah, he won the, what was he running? He was running against my friend, Joseph Sempervivo, for,
state committee man.
yeah.
Right.
What does a state committee man do?
Basically represents the county, from what I understand, up in Tallahassee, and brings back all the information that the Republicans have up in Tallahassee, and he's able to spread it here in the county.
Do you think Joe kept it clean during the election?
Joe Coakley?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He's a good man.
Because so was Joe Sempervivo, was a very good father of 6, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Joe Coakley, though, the reason I think that Joe Coakley won it was Joe's been going around shaking hands in this community for what, 30 years?
Well, at least.
Yeah, you know.
He shakes hands. He shakes more hands in the morning than anybody else I've ever met.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have voted for Joe Coakley except Joseph Sempervivo was a very close friend.
He's a good man.
And I think Joseph would have done a great job. And maybe he will in the future at whatever he puts his hand to. But he's on jury duty. He would be in here today, except he's on jury duty. He's very proud to be serving his country doing that. But Joe Coakley, I remember I met him years ago. And the first time I met him, I remember my mom had had a heart attack. Now, and I don't believe this was manipulative. I believe it came from his heart, and I'm hopeful of that. But he said, "Oh, I will pray for your mom." Now since then I've had, she's gone, and I've had too many people died. But but back then, it was novel, and I was really, really hurting without knowing it.
Right.
And when a guy says, "I'll pray for your mom," then you're out in public at some sort of a chamber meeting or something, and I almost broke down crying just the fact that he said that. You never forget that.
Right.
It's just like, I don't know, are you a Facebook person?
Yes, I am.
And when Barbara had cancer, I was shocked. You got 600 people. You post something, it says 600 people said, "We'll be praying."
It's amazing.
If that doesn't break you up. But I tell you something about Facebook. I blocked 2 people yesterday.
I saw that on your post.
Yeah, and from now on, I'm just not going to take. Actually, there's more than that recently. I'm just not going to take the crap anymore. I mean, it's supposed to be friends.
Right,
Facebook
exactly.
should be friends. It's great for us to disagree. I mean, if you're I got Beverly in here. Good morning, Beverly.
Good morning.
Beverly is she's our token independent. We have Mr. B is behind the glass, and of course he is our token token Democrat, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Democrat.
Okay. Do we get along okay?
We get along wonderfully. Remember,
We do?
I'm kind of like Beverly. I'm not independent. I am a Democrat.
Yeah.
However, I vote for the person, whether it be male or female, or the job.
And you know, that's.
If the person is qualified, that's who I vote for.
Did you vote for Hillary or not?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did. So you think she would have made a better president
Well, that's what my thought was at the time.
at the time? Well, we'll wait and see, right?
We'll wait and see how far Mr. Trump goes.
But the point being, we all get along here.
That's right.
There's no nastiness. And frankly, if you're a person of any intellect at all, and forget about intellect, put that aside, how about just some wisdom? And you can be wise and not be really intellectually that great, and that is to the proverbial spring, you stretch it out, it never quite goes back.
Right.
We should all be open to each other's ideas.
Right. And there's no
Yeah.
there's no room for the nastiness on especially on Facebook.
But the sad thing is, I don't know who hit first. Was it the media that did this, or was it the people? I don't think it's the people. I think the reason people are vitriolic is because of what what the far right has done and what the far left has done. I mean, saying Michelle Obama's a man.
Right. It's horrible.
That's nasty.
Horrible.
You know. Just the stuff that's, that stuff is so bad that I'd love to just meet them, hug them, and say, I certainly don't agree with a lot of things. I even agree with Bob Woodward, who was in town the other night. He was at Riverside Theater, and he said, Obama, and I believe he's a lefty. He wrote All the President's Men, etc. And he said Obama thought you could run a country on humility and kindness and blah blah blah. And he said, and you can't. And he said, for some reason, Obama froze. And this is coming from the leadership of those in the Democratic Party. For some reason, Mr. Obama froze.
Right.
And who's the president of not Iraq?
President of what?
Oh, we're all the guy who was the president was killing all the children and the women with
In Syria?
Yeah, that guy Assad.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And he, of course, President Obama said, if you continue to use chemicals on the children and the women, we're going to come kick your butt.
That's when he said
Then
cross
didn't
the
do
line.
anything.
Right.
And then I swear, I just happened to turn on the TV 9 months later, and I saw a side saying, "Oh, we know." Somebody asked me questions. Oh, we no longer. We don't fear, nor do we even consider or respect what the West has to say, what the president says. He had lost all credibility. Well, this is why in negotiations, Trump has got to come in and kick ass.
Right.
This whole society has a disdain and a contempt for masculinity. And, they want to have a matriarch society, a lot of people now. And it's like, let's kill all the males, especially the far left feminists, And I love women. So, and always have. And I have high respect. I loved my mom. And so any woman, actually, I agree with my mom when she said, why do I want to be equal? I want to maintain my superiority, And to me, I don't know, you respect your mom?
Oh, quite.
Are you Italian?
I'm Jewish.
You're Jewish. Aye. I didn't know you were Jewish.
Oh, yes,
I saw your skin's a little, you have that, either mid to eastern skin, which I thought was either Italian, but I didn't think it was Jewish, so you're Jewish.
Jewish from Hungary.
From Hungary?
Yes.
Have you met the two ladies who got out of Hungary a couple of years ago and came here? Do you know the little Sweet Kiss gelato
Yes.
over at Miracle Mile?
Sure.
Well, have you been in there?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you need to go over.
Oh, you've got to go.
Oh, yeah. You go over and say Rhett sent you.
I will.
Because they came here with nothing. It's kind of a really cool story. They came here, she'd been through the divorce, the mom, the daughter's with her. I'd say the daughter's, 28 to 34? I don't really, you're not supposed to ask women their ages. But anyway, so when they got to town, it's really kind of a cool story because, you give and you get.
Right.
Well, they didn't have much money, coming here, starting out. So I said, don't tell anybody, but I'll give you complimentary ads on the radio and on my Facebook for a while, And so we got them going. Now they're actually they're paying advertisers, but after a couple of years. And she said, well, 97% of the people coming in are saying they heard us on your radio show or on your Facebook. And Mr. Palmer, we had a line going down out the door and down the street the other night because of the advertising show. This is something she said maybe 9 months to a year ago. And so I was reiterating this story to someone, and this person has the power, of a substantial advertiser, and said, "Could we pay you for that?" Now I'd never charged for Facebook before, and on the radio, so it's like you give, and it comes back,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't it?
Tenfold.
Tenfold. Do you have children?
I have a young son who's 11 years old. He's a fifth grader over at Rosewood Elementary.
Wonderful. And you're running for school board.
Running for the school board.
You're starting out early, 2018.
Well, with how many people that you need to get to and make contacts with, you need time.
What did I tell you about Joe Coakley? He's been shaking hands
for 30 years.
I've only been here 23 years, but I've known his face has been everywhere since I've been here. And like I said, if it wasn't for my friend Joseph Sempervivo, Joseph Coakley would have, I would have been out there campaigning for him. He's a nice guy. Seems to be a nice guy. I hope he kept it clean. I remember I was a little worried about it. I think he was on some other radio show, and I didn't hear it, but somebody had said something, and I forget what it was. But
he's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Above board.
Yeah. And so that's what you're doing essentially. You're going out and you're shaking hands early.
Shaking hands early. I'm going to all the meetings. I have set up a lot of meetings with different community leaders, especially in the school district, and the Republican clubs, one by one, and the Democrats. We can't leave anybody out.
What do you do for a living?
I do credit card processing, and now I'm working over at Target. I took a part-time job over at Target, which turned into a full-time job.
Really?
Yes.
What are you doing over there?
I'm a team member, a little of everything, cashiering, running the floor.
Really?
Yeah, I just went over seasonal in November, and they kept me, which was a surprise, but I'm enjoying myself there.
And the other thing you did, you said
I do credit card processing.
Credit card processing.
For a local company called Vector Technologies, a good friend of mine.
So that's like when you have a retail business, you rent the equipment?
Well, we supply the equipment for free actually, and we don't charge for the equipment. Some of the other companies do, and they process through us, and we make a small commission, and we do business quite well.
So what does it cost a retailer for last night? A friend of mine, Nick, he wants to buy some advertising. He said, "Do you take AMX?" I said, "Certainly we do." Some people just pay. It's automatic every month. It's deducted for their advertising, or put on their card. So what was my question? Oh, how much does the retailer lose? How much? Like we accept AMX. How much are we losing on each buy? Let's say it's $100.
Well, with American Express, about $2.75 at 100 probably. Somewhere in there. We try and bring it down so your rates would be about 2% of whatever you're charging through. So maybe about $2 a 100. We seem to have the best rates in town, but
it definitely encourages buys though, because people know that they can contest something if it's then they don't get what they're told they're going to get. It also, I guess, does it protect the retailer?
Sure, it protects the retailer and the consumer.
How? Tell me.
Well, if the consumer's filing a fraudulent claim, let's say, the American Express or Visa will investigate it, and they'll side with the retailer just as well as they'll side with the consumer. A lot of people don't take American Express for some reason. They have the old thought that it's very expensive, but actually sometimes it works out cheaper because of the rewards cards on Visa, MasterCard, and Discover. Some of those rewards cards could cost you in the 3%. So American Express is a very good way to go.
How about Visa?
Visa's a very good company as well.
A little less money?
A little less money, but not
much less.
Not much. I mean, you're talking pennies.
Yeah.
It all depends on how many rewards are on those cards. That's what drives the price.
So, Randy, where are you from originally?
Originally from New York.
Where?
Well, I grew up on Long Island.
Yeah.
And then I went to work in the city, in New York City, for about 20 years. I lived and worked in New York City. We manufactured costume jewelry, and we actually supplied people like Target inexpensive costume jewelry.
This was your father's business?
My grandfather's business.
So did you sell that or what?
I sold my share in 1999 to my two brothers. My father had just retired.
Are you happy you did that now?
Yes, sir.
Why?
I have a very fulfilled life. I went down to Miami and I decided to volunteer into the school district down there. And
So you sold that enough that you had early retirement?
Yes, sir. I retired at about 41. But I didn't retire. I lasted about 3 weeks in Miami Beach, and had to find something to do. So I went full time as a volunteer in the Miami-Dade School District, and I taught for 2 years there. I taught fifth grade math out of need. I worked in the inner city schools, and we turned a double F school into almost a B school with a big team effort, and that kind of what drives me now to run for the school board here. I see the need here as well.
Why'd you sell out? Were you having conflicts, family conflicts?
No,
or-
not at all. We got along beautifully. My father was very fair. We always voted on everything. However the vote went, we went with. My two brothers and I got along very, very well. I just got burnt out, to tell you the truth. I lived and worked in New York City for 20 years, and we worked, nights and weekends, and I was just burnt out.
My grandfather had a place at East 50th, 234 East 50th, between
Right.
2nd and 3rd.
There you go.
Smith and Walensky over on 3rd.
Sure.
Ooh, talk about steaks.
Delicious.
Ooh.
There many, many nights. But I really did get burned out. And the economy turned at 1999, the late 1990s, the economy started to turn. And it was just time to move on.
Now, so how did you find Vero?
Um,
I was curious how people find this haven.
Vero came up in a magazine. The only way I knew Vero was 2 hurricanes that came through here in 2004 and 2005, because we lived in Miami. Everything, we saw the news.
Okay.
Everybody expected Miami to get wiped out with the hurricanes, but it actually hit Vero, unfortunately.
We were ground zero at Vero, remember?
That's right. So what happened was, I was reading a magazine and I saw an advertisement for Vero Beach, and I asked around, and people said it's a beautiful place to live.
What magazine?
One of the house magazines. I don't remember exactly.
In Miami?
Yeah. We came up here, took a look around, and we saw, the prices in Miami were out of control at the time. They wanted $750,000 for my little 2-bedroom apartment, and we came up here and we bought a beautiful house in a community, and we're very happy here.
Now, we publish a magazine here.
Yes, sir.
Called Vero's Voice.
Right.
Well, what I want to know is, I remember last time I was in Miami, I was going to the airport for some reason, and there was a big banner, and the banner said some name, and said Miami's #1 magazine.
Okay.
And more now, we are promoting people to sign up. And by the way, listening folks, if you'd like to get Vero's Voice, it's absolutely free, delivered right to your mailbox, and you can get the print version all over town. I'm sure you've seen our magazine.
Yes, sir.
But you can get it on by going to www.verosvoice.com and then subscribing. It'll come every month. But I just wondered, before you came here, did you find that e-magazines were more popular down the street? I mean, Miami is younger,
correct,
than the crowd here.
Correct.
So I always want to pay attention to what's going on with that next generation, because obviously there's a lot of Miami people that are being introduced to the area from Gloria Estefan.
Sure.
She's the 84th best-selling artist in the history of the recording industry. Have you met them, by the way?
Yes, I have.
Lovely
I've
couple,
been over
aren't
to
they?
the restaurant.
Oh, you have? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Lovely couple. I don't know how the restaurant's doing now.
I think quite well.
I haven't been. I'd like to go back, But I know the hotel is done in a minimalistic, sort of decor.
Right.
Yeah.
They turned it around very nicely. I think they turned that whole section down there quite around.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be back. Oh, yes. Round 5 coming up. This is the mayor of the airwaves. We're talking with Randy Heimler. He's running in 2018.
That's right.
For school board.
That's right. Got to start early.
Yeah. The early bird catches the worm.
That's what they say.
All right. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. And that guy's next door, and he's walking. Do you see him walking back and forth or no? You're facing me.
Yeah.
So it bothers me. Do you think I should go next door and say, could you just not walk in front of the window back and forth? It's very disconcerting when we're doing a radio
He's
show.
got a long way to walk on the other side. Well,
Yeah.
Just explain.
But how do you do it?
Just be nice. You're on the air. I mean, if it's distracting you. What does he do? Does he work right next door?
Yeah.
Yeah, let him go the other way. Is he smoking or something?
No.
Or call
Just nervous.
Treasure Coast Community Health at 772-571-1989.
Is he still there?
No, I don't see him.
Remember, that's
Yeah. Now that I go on break,
He is gone.
You know, come on. I mean, there's a window here. It says on there, you're walking back and forth and back and forth. I mean, the big shot on the phone or whatever,
It's ridiculous with the phone.
Come on. I mean, that's what amazes me is people are not cognizant of what they're doing, and it's like, it's just like when people walk by, I try to step aside, people just come plowing
Oh,
through.
yeah,
Do they have
show
no
there.
idea of the fact that, you're coming through? I'm just very cognizant of people. I would step aside or let someone else go, be considerate and thoughtful. I don't understand people that aren't.
Yeah, a lot of people like to confrontational, and they, even like at Target, well, we step aside, of course, but sometimes they just plow right at you like you're in. I always say to my friends there, people don't even say hello. What they do is they say, "Do you know where?" Like it's not hello, hi, whatever. Excuse me. It's, do you know where?
I try to preface it, sir, can I ask you a question?
Right.
Yeah.
Where is?
So how do I ask him
Yeah.
nicely? See, I have a problem with tone.
Yeah, well,
Right now I'm emotional.
right,
So there might be a little edge.
right.
And then somebody's gonna say, hey, screw you. This is my side. I can, I rent here too,
Right.
This company does.
Sir,
Just lower it.
are
Huh?
we going to 11 or are we finished?
No, we're going on.
Okay.
What day is it?
It's Thursday.
Oh, yeah. What's her name comes in at 11, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Did you want to go to that? You should go to that with me.
What's that?
Do you want to go to that luncheon with me? It's called CPA. I don't know what it is, but we meet at Oak. I've been invited by Mr. Rooney, the attorney, today,
Oh,
to go to CPA over at the Oak Harbor.
okay. That sounds great.
I'm working later, unfortunately.
But you got plenty of time to go to these things. But I just figured you'd want to know about it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay, so
Nobody looks forward to going to the dentist, but Dr. Plains
Cole Rooney.
sedation to help dental phobia. Dr. Plain and his staff likes to help people with a friendly atmosphere and a stress-free visit. His office is located just south of the Village Beach Market, 4755 North A1A, or his
Show you my
website,
little guy.
plainsdentalarts.com.
There's the little
Okay.
fellow.
What is your first name? I didn't hear.
Hi,
Hi, Esther. Oh, yeah. I talked to you the other day. Remember I told you Esther was a biblical name. This is Rhett Palmer. Good. Gary had invited me to attend a luncheon with him today. It's a CPA thing over at Oak Harbor. I guess it starts at 11:30. And I didn't know if he wanted me. I guess I'll just meet him there. Would you just remind him of that? Yeah. I believe it's Oak Harbor. If it's anything different, would you call me back and let me know, or text me if it's a different address? But I believe it's Oak Harbor. I know that. Sure.
It's funny, Brian Hetty's son, he looks just like Brian Hetty and Coral. I know them very well. So when I saw him come out, I was like, he's got to be a Hetty. What else could he be?
Why? Oh, because of the name, you mean?
Yeah.
So you waited a while before he came into your life?
Sure did. I didn't get married till I was 46.
Yeah.
So yeah, I waited a while. I waited for the right situation and the right timing. I wanted to be able to spend all the time I can with him. And I could.
Oh, yeah, it's great that you did that.
And I raised him with my wife, until I still take him to school every morning, pick him up when I can. But
That's so precious.
we spent the first 5 or 6 years with him every day, and we were able to do that, thank God. And now I'm back to work, which is great. But he doesn't need me like before. But he still comes to visit me at Target when he misses me. He comes walking in. He's a good kid. He's really a sweet guy.
Mm-hmm.
Soccer player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very good soccer player. I'm the coach. But he's really cool. But we were able to really raise him nicely and spend all the time with him until he was in kindergarten and first grade. So we got a nice bunch of years with him.
That's so important.
Yeah, and you see the difference, with him. And
Yeah.
like he always asks me every day, "Can you pick me up?" I said, "If I'm not working, I'll pick you up. If I can't, but the drill." So, it's
11. So when he gets to be 13, okay, Dad,
Yes.
I don't know.
As far as I can see, it is still at Oak Harbor.
Oh, it is at Oak Harbor. Okay. Can you tell him that I'll see him there then?
Okay, I can do that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
righty. Good show so
What do you
far.
want,
We did
Mr.
good.
Donut Man?
Sounds good. Nah, I redeemed myself. You got,
Do you know there's as much fat in one donut as there is in 13 angel food cakes?
all right.
So if you want to know the fat content of this, compare the fat content of that donut that I indulged in the other day. You'll be bringing these for the next 13 weeks.
Well, I could probably do that.
No, I'm only kidding.
I better stay away from Dunkin'
What else
Donuts.
was I going to say this? So we you know you got the tickets to
Yes.
which one? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have your ticket for this Saturday. We have a ticket for you for that university.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Here, we're in the spot.
Wonderful. Mhm.
There's that one-day university at.
I enjoyed last year.
Nobody looks forward to going to the dentist, but Dr. Plains offers conscious sedation to help with dental phobia.
It's a nice
Dr.
setup because
Plain and his
there's
staff
always a
likes to
window.
help
It's
people
nice
with
to
a
have the
friendly
window
atmosphere
instead of being
and a
like in a little
stress-free
studio.
visit. His office is located just south of the Village Beach Market, 4755 North A1A, or his website, plainsdentalarts.com, or just give him a call, 231-6004. That's 231-6004. So to help with your next dental need, from a basic cleaning to dental implants, call Dr. Plain and his friendly staff, offering conscious sedation to overcome dental phobia. That's Dr. Alex Plains, 231-6004. You need an appliance fixed? Call Mike Campbell at Campbell's Appliance Repair, 562-3002. 562-3002. Campbell's Appliance Repair. Michael's been in business for years. So if you have an appliance that needs to be repaired, call 562-3002. 562-3002.
Stand by, open in 15 seconds.
The Financial Pulse. Every Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 11 o'clock right here, 107.9 on your FM dial, 1370 on your AM dial. The Financial Pulse, Thursdays, 10:30 a.m.
Did we send the new promos, Mr. B, for Danny Howe's radio show at 11:30, 10:30 on Thursdays?
Yes, I played them yesterday.
Okay, not today. We need to play those instead. I want you maybe take that. Well, replace that one we just did with that one, or somehow sneak it in today because I'm sure he'll be listening. In the next hour, put it on as many times as you can. All right. Hey. Hey, this is the Mayor of the Airways. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. B is behind the glass today, along with Mr. Hetty. Good morning, Mr. B. Good morning, Mr. Hetty.
Good morning, Rhett.
And we also have in the studio Beverly,
Good morning.
our public relations specialist. There you go. And we also have Randy Heimler, who's a dad. Waited till he was, 46 to get married?
Yes, sir.
Now has a 5-year-old?
No, 11-year-old.
Or 11-year-old.
In 5th grade.
In 5th grade. I knew there was
There's
a
a
5
five,
there. And he allowed his family to buy him out the costume jewelry business in New York, not because there was any conflict with his family, but because he just, frankly, after over 20 years in Manhattan,
Right.
experiencing burnout, which I can understand.
Yes.
So you want to feel at home, Randy? Oh my gosh! I used to go to the Waldorf store. You can't open up the window.
No window opening.
It's just constant.
24/7.
Yeah, I wonder what the attraction is of New York. My grandfather told me it lived at 234 East 50th, and of course, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
That's right.
He had rent control.
That's right.
200. His neighbor was old Blue Eyes there, not Sinatra, the other one, the other Blue Eyes, Paul Newman.
Right.
But my grandfather was only paying $248 a month rent. But rent control. What is rent? You lived in Manhattan too.
I had rent control when I first moved in. They can only raise the rent a certain amount, 3%, 5%, 7%, but they had to offer you a lease. Here in Florida, the landlords do not have to offer you a renewal. In Manhattan, it was mandatory, so you never got kicked out. But the most they could raise was set by the state, and it was 3%, 5%, 7%. So it was very low annually. Well, over the time of the lease, right? So let's say you're paying $200, and then you're paying $206 for the next couple of years. So The raises were minimal. It was great.
Huh. Now, so what happens when somebody dies and it goes up for grabs? That it goes to they can ask for a current rate?
I don't remember.
Kind of weird that the government comes in and tells you what to do. It's almost like the mayor of New York saying people can no longer drink Pepsis.
Right.
I mean, don't you think that was a little ludicrous?
Well, it helped. It helped me, that's for sure. But it helped a lot of people. But some people abuse it, like you're saying, and a family member may pass
But I
away.
don't want the government coming and telling me what I should drink and shouldn't drink.
No, of course not.
Yeah, but that's what he did. Bloomberg.
Right. Well, it's the same thing with the schools. Nobody wants federal intrusion. They want to,
But they want the federal money.
They want the federal money, but they want it kept at the local level.
Now you're going to run for school board here. You
Yes,
are running for
I am
school
running,
board.
yes.
So have you actually signed the papers yet, or
All
is
the
it too
papers
early?
are in. No, I've
Really?
signed about a good month, a little over a good month.
So you're financially set in life. You don't have to work. You choose to work.
I choose to work.
Good
Yes.
for you. And you're working right now out at
Target over by the mall.
Target over by the mall. I go there frequently.
I'm there.
And so does Michelle Obama.
I have a question for Randy.
Sure.
This is your second time to run for the board. What has motivated you?
Well, what's motivating me now, I wasn't so sure I was going to run the second time, but the amount of issues that are over at the board right, with the school district right now, have brought me back in. It's distracted from the focus on the children. We have a healthcare issue. We have a credit card issue. We have, as far as I'm concerned, we have a term limit issue. We have an ESE issue. There are too many distractions, and while all this has been happening, the seat that I'm running for has been there, and I don't think Mr. Cersey, who's the seat I'm running for, has been doing his homework. We asked the children to do their homework. I don't think the board has been as prepared as they should be. There's too many I didn't knows. There's too many nobody told me. They're gonna have a workshop to explain it to me. That's not the job of the school district. The school board sets policy, of course, as you know. That's their main function, but at the same time, they're supposed to be on top of the game, and they're far from the game. They're far from on top of the game right now. So I'm a big believer in term limits. I think it should be 8 years, and that's enough. It's good enough for our president and our vice president. I think the salary structure is way out of hand. I looked at Mr. Cersey's schedule, and he has a full-time job. I'm not knocking his life, but the amount of hours that he could put in a month, according to the schedule, is about 20 a month. Now, if you do the math, it's over $100 an hour that he's getting paid compared to the teachers that are getting paid $15, $17 an hour, and they're full-time employees. The school board should not be making more money than the teachers. I think that's really not fair. It should be a full-time position, not a part-time position. There's just too much to do. A great example now is Tiffany Justice, who just got elected. She's on, you could follow her on Facebook or anywhere else. She's in every school. She's all over the place. That's what needs to be done. It should not be a full-time job. Some of the board members in the past have donated their salaries back because they've had full-time jobs. But I think if you limit it to term limits, because after 6 years you're vested in the state pension plan, and some people are in there for that, okay, you earned your pension, then move on. If you haven't gotten your message
What do you mean you
across,
earn a pension? The longer you stay, though, the bigger the pension, right?
sure, that's what I was going to say.
Well,
After,
how much of a pension do you get after 6 years?
it's a certain percentage. I don't know if it's 5%, 10%, for life. It's a life pension.
Really?
And every year it grows that you're there. That should not be the
What
driving
does a
force.
school board person make? 50,000 a year?
No, almost about 40 with the benefits. Healthcare is in there, and that's a big issue right now. We're charging the teachers, an extra $300 a month because they've let this healthcare issue get so out of hand. They're $7 million in the hole at the school district. So we're charging the teachers $300 a month, but the school board members get it for free. That's really not right. But $40,000 for a part-time job is just way too much compared to the commissioners who work full-time, and they're paid 65,000, but they're
Is that a full-time job?
The commissioners?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And do you think it really is?
For some of them, just like everything else, I think there's enough work for the commissioners to do that it should be a full-time job. Yes. I do. I just think the school board should be a full-time job, and that's what you should focus on. And you should also have to have had educational experience. business experience and educational experience together is a home run. But not having any educational experience, I think that's a mistake. The voters should know that.
Well, you really did your homework. I mean, you've given some really good reasons.
Well, I'm very passionate about it. I won the State Volunteer of the Year award for the Department of Education for my work
Really?
back in
Really?
2004.
What was that for? What'd you do?
My volunteer work, I brought in, we turned around a double F school to almost a B. We missed a B by 6 points. It took a few years, but we brought in the entire community. We brought in the school district. We brought in reading mentors and big brothers and big sisters, and you name it, it came into the school. I got the superintendent to come out and hand out book bags. I put that on my Facebook, a letter from the superintendent of the Miami-Dade School District who supported me. But without the community involvement piece, the schools will not survive. If you look at the schools here in this district, the charter schools are outperforming the traditional schools. The magnet schools are outperforming the traditional, they're part of the traditional schools, but they're outperforming. And the main reason is the parental involvement. The parents are in those schools. If you go to a back to school night at Rosewood, Osceola, North County Charter, Imagine, just to name a few, the high school, the charter high school, you'll see so many parents there, you won't believe it. Some of the other schools with very small PTAs and very small parental involvement don't perform as well. It's a no-brainer. So with my experience in community involvement, that's another piece that I want to bring in. I want to get this community involved more than they are now. But without it, the individual schools will not do well. It's almost impossible.
How do you feel about the resident in Vero Beach from Windsor who was just nominated and approved for heading up what was the school commissioner of
The Secretary of Education,
yeah, Secretary
Betsy
of
DeVos.
Education. Yeah.
Betsy DeVos has had a tough run there to get nominated.
She did seem unknowledgeable about some things.
She seemed very unknowledgeable about a lot of things.
So, because I've even had other Republicans come up to me and go, oh.
Yeah, well, I'm one of those.
Yeah, so it's I mean, she seems like a very nice lady. She looks very familiar, so I probably met her in town here.
Right.
But, it didn't hurt that she's married to the billionaire up there, the guy who flies in that big green jet. Seats about 120 people. That's the biggest jet that flies into Vero Beach.
It's quite amazing. I've seen it.
That's better than the elite jet. I mean, it's like twice as big as the elite jet.
The elite jet, I think, holds 90 or something like that.
No, I think it's only 60.
60? Okay.
But can you imagine flying in by, well, no one came with me today. So you got 100 empty seats?
It's quite amazing.
And it doesn't matter.
No, not to them.
They started in a garage.
Well, they earned it. That's a whole nother way of doing it.
It's actually, yeah, you're right. I would love to interview him only because you hold that up. I remember I lived in Troy, New York, and I joined Amway twice. And, went to did you ever go to one of those meetings and draw the little circles? The good thing about the drawing the circles is this. First of all, in multi-level, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but frankly, it's the people at the beginning and the top that make all the money.
Pyramids.
I highly recommend not getting involved in that stuff. The good thing about it is it teaches you that you cannot succeed without pulling others up to success. And as you pull others up to success, you succeed yourself. For instance, advertising on my show.
Right.
If all I did was collect money and didn't really cultivate a good listening audience or a credibility with my listeners, then I would just take.
Right.
But I just had a dentist just started with me a month ago. He's already gotten more than one new patient, and he's already gotten feedback from his other patients. Getting feedback from the other patients, somebody saying, well, I have already patients. Well, if you're a business person, you realize that means we're reaching his target audience. And the fact that he got 2 new patients within a month, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason, Dr. Mallon's been with me 16 years, Dr. Inee's 15 years. So the point is, with this multi-level stuff, you learn by helping others, you get helped in business, right?
Exactly. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You got to give back.
And now that seems to be your intent. I mean, okay, you do have a, this is an old saying, success, I don't have a dog in that hunt. You have a dog in the hunt. He's not a dog, he's your son.
Right.
But your son is 8 years of age in 5th grade. So why are you so adamant, Randy Heimer, that now it's a year and a half in advance? Because you're running in 2018. What will it be? September?
August. It will be in August primary.
So what do we have now? What does that put us at? We're
Uh,
at 17,
16 months maybe.
16 months. So a year and a half.
Something
Yeah,
Yeah.
a year and a half about. So why? Why so early? Why are you doing this? And why do you want to be? Why do you want to be on the school board?
Well, I wasn't planning on
You don't
starting.
need the money.
No, I'm not doing it for the money. A lot of my money will go back to help certain causes, which is what it should be about. I will be helping, some of the inner city children. I will help some of the PTAs. Why so early? I think it's gotten to a boiling point where the school district has just the school board, I should say, has kind of blown up. And instead of it being focused on our kids, it's being focused on all these issues. I don't think our school board, in particular the older guard that's been there before this last election, has been up to speed. I think they're letting too many issues get by them. And like I said, I'm here to return the focus on our kids. Without those charter schools, this district could be a C, could be a low C. If you look at the ratings of the schools, it's 5 or 6 schools driving this district, and that's not what it should be. The other ones are kind of getting left behind. I give Dr. Rendell a lot of credit. He's made a very big effort to get the charter schools on the same part, as the other ones. The school board just voted, a few months ago to spend $140,000 to fight the charter schools getting their share of the millage tax, which was an agreed deal between the charter schools and the school district. They were going to get their percentage when we voted 5 years ago to have a millage tax to raise the money for the school district. Then the school district withdrew their agreement, and the charters got mad, and they should have gotten mad, but they have no recourse, so they ended up in court, and that we're spending a fortune. Now, my seat was the one that brought in the motion to spend $81,000 or $90,000 more to fight the charter schools over money that was agreed to. What is that? That's insane. To spend $130,000, $150,000 more to fight money that we're supposed to have an agreement with the charters. They treat the charters here like they're a foreign entity, but the charters are part of our school district, just like the traditional schools are. So all these things combined, just got to me one day, and I was reading the paper, and I just said, this is enough. It's time to run on issues, run on what's really going on here, and my passion for education. That's I think I offer my educational experience and I offer my business experience. And I think, like I said before, you have to have both. But you can't just sit there and say the same thing over and over again. I didn't know. No one told me. I didn't know. They didn't give me the credit card statements monthly like they're supposed to do. Some people are charging, like they had in the paper, the Waldorf Astoria. Some of the administrators stated the Waldorf Astoria. Why the Waldorf Astoria? And who approved that?
Waldorf Astoria. I used to stay there when the rooms were $600 a night. Now they're $1,700 a night.
Right. Why are they staying at the Waldorf?
Come on.
Who approved that? So
Yeah.
Why should they be staying at
That's
things?
because they listen to my show.
Right.
And you're envious.
It could be the reason.
Go out and earn it on your own business. Don't use my tax dollars. Another thing that irritates me is my tax dollars go to NPR, which is my #1 competitor.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
I happen to like NPR, and I know people tell me they vacillate. They go over to NPR, and then they come back and hear me, and they hear me, and then they go back to NPR. Okay, that's fine. But NPR, I'm out here having to hit the streets.
Right.
And NPR gets all this funding. So we'd like your non-tax deductible donation today. We're looking for someone to write a check for $100,000. We could really use your help in rebuilding our studio here at Studio 95. Please send your non-tax deductible check to Vero's Voice, Studio 95, 95 Royal Palm Point, Vero Beach, Florida 32960. Okay, we need your help. Want to keep community radio on the air? We need your help. Thanks. All right, we're going to take a little break, then we'll be back. This is the Mayor of the Airways, another beautiful day in paradise. Today's broadcast is brought to you by someone who does sponsor our broadcast and has for 16 years, Dr. Mallon, Center for Advanced Eye Care. 2 ads are running.
Very good. That's who my wife sees, Dr. Mellon. That must burn you that your NPR is your.
Yeah. Taking my money that I have to earn. And then you got the Christian station on. Okay.
Yeah.
I happen to be a believer in Jesus as the Messiah.
Right.
But I had a conversion experience in my room. I never believed, I was in Jesus religion until I was 29. I'll tell you about something I want to hear. But anyway, so I'm glad they get the support. But I got people that have given them 500,000. Then you got this 32963, which are nasty asses. I have a friend of mine that's a billionaire in town. She writes a check to them.
Right.
For 32963.
Give
We're
a
putting out a
waiver
community.
excuse. You're about a minute early, but we'll recoup.
No, I'm not a minute early. It's only 9:53. No ad breaks should go more than 4 minutes, which means we should be back at 53, 54, 55, 56. We should be back about 9:56. That would leave me 4 more minutes to have a show. Mr. B, your math is about as good as mine.
Oh, believe me, my math is right on. If you don't follow it.
I will test you for certain. I will test you, Doc. It's about time. It's about space. It's about time. Yeah, why don't you take a? You know what you ought to do? Why don't you figure out a campaign? And for the next year, people, you can ask. I shouldn't say this on there, but let's just put it this way.
You'll have about
People who
3
are
minutes,
in office
so,
now, many of them, it's
watch your
because of their
clock.
presence with me,
It's going to
if
be
they've been in office.
9:50.
Why don't
They
we
take it
figure
from
out a
us.
plan
Watch
of
your
action?
clock when you come
You
back.
have to spend a little money with me. I don't sell ads on the radio.
Right.
I'm going to do interviews,
Right.
but I do on that.
Okay.
And a consistent. Do you know what works in advertising? And this is a truth. Maybe you already know it. Okay. There's 150,000 people in this area. If I told them about Randy Heimler once,
right,
give me $10,000. It's not going to do anything. I'm stealing your money.
Right.
You take a select group. Now, the good thing about local talk radio is who votes.
Right.
It's who actually goes and pulls the levers.
Right.
The people that listen to my show.
Right.
That's why it works, you know. And so
that's why I went to get the voter poll, the voter record of who voted in my election, not all the other stuff that goes on. 13,000 people voted. I want to know who voted, not all this other stuff. They sell you a million things. I want to know who voted.
Yeah.
And only 13% came out, but I want to know those 13,000 people.
Well, you ask around the people, find the people, go to these political events, and you'll find they listen to my show.
Oh, yeah.
99% of them. I'm not saying this arrogantly.
Right.
We're 15 seconds to the rejoin.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. You're doing a fine job today, gentlemen. A fine job.
And you'll have about 3 minutes, so watch your big clock in front of you. 9:50 is when they take it from us.
You watch your big clock, bucko.
No comment.
Hey, this is the mayor of the airwaves. This is the mayor of the airwaves. Another beautiful day in paradise. How you doing, folks? In the studio, I have Randy Heimler. I don't know where we've met before, but Sue seems familiar. But I'm glad you're in here, and I thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
He's running for school board district, and he's already started for 2018.
Yes, sir.
Now, if that doesn't work, I don't know what will work. Also, my co-host for this morning, of course, is
Beverly, and happy to be here again.
Beverly, and happy to be here again. That's a different kind of a last name, Beverly, and happy to be here. Okay? That's actually not a bad idea.
The last name
Beverly
is
and happy
awesome.
to be here. No, you should change your name. I can just imagine you as a national artist, an author.
Well, if I
Beverly, happy to be here. I'm Beverly, happy to be here.
Well, if I got married, I could change my name, right?
You have to find happy to be here. Where is he?
Mr. Happy to be here.
Mr. Happy to be here. She's looking for Mr. Happy. Actually, she's not looking for a mate. She
No.
likes her freedom.
I'm independent.
She likes her freedom. So, Randy, in case people are just tuning in, like I said, he's running for school board. You have someone in the hunt, so to speak.
Yes, sir. I have Mr. Cersei's seat to go after.
You have a son, the most important thing.
My
That's
son,
a
sure.
5th grade, 8 years
In
old.
the race, yeah. 11 years old, 5th grader over at Rosewood, doing beautifully. Very happy with the school that he's at. Hopefully next year he'll move over to Storm Grove and continue his education here. We've been super happy with Rosewood. But yeah, he's the reason. Without him, I wouldn't have the drive that I have now.
I have a question.
Oh, happy to be here. Okay, Beverly, happy to be here, has a question.
She was just voted in last night, Department of
Oh,
Education.
Beverly, happy to be here?
Happy to be here.
Yes.
How do you feel about Miss DeVos?
Yeah.
I think Miss DeVos is going to be a wait and see. Was hopeful that it's going to work itself out and we're not going to have such a divisive Department of Education. But, the main focus for me, that comes out of the Department of Education is the states are allowed to do what they need to do. It's got to be at the local level. It can't be mandated by the federal government. Those dollars that, they dangle out there for the rewards and everything else are very tempting. But if you speak to the people on the ground, the voters and the parents, they want everything localized, and that's the way it should be.
Well, I'm a pretty good judge of character, so I think she'll turn out right. I mean, only 5 people that I've hired in the past couple of years have ended up in jail.
It's not a bad rate.
I'm not allowed to hire anymore.
You're off.
Does your wife have intuition?
Yes. Yes.
It's true though. It's well, anyway. Truth is stranger than fiction.
Yes.
So Randy, good getting to know you, and I hope
pleasure.
you'll come back here again. We'll talk more.
Love to.
And do you have a website?
Well, right now I'm on Facebook, so it's Randy Heimlich, the school board, District 4 on Facebook.
That seems to be replacing the website, huh?
Yeah, well, it seems to be much more effective. There's 3,000 followers on my
It'll be
website.
easy.
Right.
I got like 12,000 followers. Well, I got 5,000 Rhett Palmer, and then I got the Vero's Voice magazine, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's Mr. B telling us our time is about up. But okay, so we'll see you on Facebook. Randy Heimler, Heimler.
That's correct.
Great to meet you.
Thank you very much.
All right, good luck on
enjoyed
this. I'd like to meet your son sometime.
I'll bring him over.
Okay, do that. This is the mayor. Tell him we'll be right back.
Be right back. Okay.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
you're going to be watching Miss DeVos, I know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, we all are.
Have to.
Okay.
Very important.
I just see somebody left his lights on. I'm going to tell them. There goes.
No, he's in his car.
He's sitting there.
He's in his
Thank you.
car.
Thank you.
There's a man in the car. You don't have to. He's in the car.
He's in the car. Okay, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, he's a good source for you.
Oh, no, great. I'm gonna take care of that.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good great presentation.
Oh, thank you. That
I
means
mean,
a lot.
really, some people get nervous and they can't express themselves, but you really do.
Well, I believe in it. I was on the radio a couple times in Miami, and I believe in it. I'm not making it up. So I think what
You
happens
can
is,
tell, it's coming from your heart.
thank you. That's what it's about. So
Yeah.
I appreciate the help.
Bring your son in.
I'm gonna bring
I
Josh
think you'll
over.
get a kick out
He'd
of
love
it.
All right, thanks.
You're
I'll
welcome.
bring him the next time.
Okay.
Is Randy still here?
Now we just,
Go get his phone number for me. Tell me you want his cell number, right?
oh,
Randy,
Yes, Brett. You need a key.
right, what should I do about a key for the morning, sir?
What do you want, wait a minute. I think you want your cell phone.
you said it should be on
I'll
the,
text it to you, okay, Rhett?
wait a minute, you said it should be on the card.
Randy, oh, you have a phone, okay, card. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my phone and text it to Rhett, so he'll have it in his phone.
Oh, perfect. Keep the
All
phone.
right.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give him the card too, but
Yeah.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hey, you got my vote. Good luck.
Thank you.
I got it. Oh, good. I'm texting it to you now, and I also have his card.
Have you heard of the Heimlich remover?
Well, that was pretty good. I had that mess up, but I learned from that. I learned from all the mistakes. That's the key, right? We gotta make sure the computer's up. Right? And that can send up 508, and that's automatic. Okay, cool. I'll do that. Okay. Oh, and I'm gonna put, when I come back, I'll put all those numbers in my phone. I took a picture, but I'll get the numbers in my phone. Okay. And, Brett said he doesn't know what we're gonna do about the key. Okay. Well, you gotta get one. He's coming back, Brett, so, okay, here. I'll be back tomorrow. You gotta lock out. Hospital, I called the company, and it was grade one. Grade one was the lowest grade, it was $1,094. The highest grade, highest grade average is $1,459. I had a $4,859. New hospital section, I don't know why $4,000 in the hole.
Mr. Danny House, president of East Coast Tax and Financial Planning, hosts the Financial Pulse every Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 11 o'clock, right here, 107.9 on your FM dial, 1370 on your AM dial. The Financial Pulse, Thursdays, 10:30 a.m.
Regal Paint Design Center, located 1800 US 1 Vero Beach. If you restore homes, furniture, interior, exterior, Regal Paint featuring Benjamin Moore carries what the professional masters use. From varnish, sandpaper, to plaster wood stains, the full line of architectural paints and stains. Finishes increase energy efficiency when caulking doors and windows. Benjamin Moore offers the best to protect your seasonal or permanent home all year round. Think of Regal
Close the
Paint
door.
Design Center as your
You get
hardworking
a
art
little
supply
too much comfort of people coming in, going out, nobody getting in here.
If someone in my family was diagnosed with skin cancer, I wouldn't care how nice the building looked or what was being said on the radio. I'd look for the best treatment options with the highest cure rates, and I'd find qualified physicians who could provide those treatments. I'm Dr. Tim Ioannidis
That
at Treasure
man
Coast
told
Dermatology. Our board-certified
more than
doctors have
other
the
board
training
members
and
you've ever
experience
sent.
to care for you and your loved ones.
Mhm.
Don't come to Treasure Coast Dermatology based on our image alone.
Specializing in the treatment of skin
Hello?
cancer. Board-certified dermatologists. Treasure
Who's calling,
Coast
please?
Dermatology.
The tide is in. Whether it be a
Craig
special
who?
event, romantic dinner, or a great night out, it is sure to be
Oh,
a memorable
Craig?
night at the Tides Restaurant. Chef Kelleher's latest innovations, always
Craig
an
Webb. How you
award-winning
doing, Craig?
culinary experience. You'll taste the freshest seafood.
Now, what was the interview about? Give me the subject again.
And the finest meats to create masterful presentations of both flavor and form. A complete dining
Okay,
Stand
well,
by,
let's
open
find
steps.
something. What is it that you do?
Tides Restaurant, 3103 Cardinal Drive, Vero Beach.
Oh, you, yes. Do you want to, hey, listen, I have an opening right now. I'm coming back from a news break. You want to be on the air? Okay, do me a favor. Call this number, 772-778. 778-3500. 772-778-3500. And your name again is? Craig Webb. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Webb will be calling in momentarily, and we're going to talk about all the hit songs that have been inspired by dreams. So Craig's on my cell phone. Now give us a call, Craig, at 772-778-3500, okay? Okay, calls now. Thank you. So, yeah, Craig Webb. Craig Webb will be talking to us
You
momentarily.
never know who's going to be calling you, do you? It's just
You
amazing.
never know who's going to be calling. Yes,
I mean, it's a direct line. You don't have a secretary, you don't have a manager.
Mrs. DeVos called me today, but I couldn't take the call. She lives up at Windsor, you know.
I've heard that.
Yeah, so what do you think about her getting the nomination there? The
I-
nod, huh?
That's interesting. I think that because she's been very prominent regarding charter schools. I hope that she's going to be good for local.
All right, is Mr. Webb on the line? Craig Webb? How are you doing, Craig Webb?
Hey, great.
Another beautiful. Yeah, I think you'll find this very interesting, folks, that a lot of hit songs were actually inspired by dreams. I know that Paul McCartney said that he wrote Yesterday after the melody came to him in his sleep, and it was, in order to remember it, he would go, ham and eggs, oh, how I like to eat those ham and eggs. And then you have a list of a considerable number of people, including Bob Dylan, right, who have written songs inspired by their dreams, right, Craig?
Well, over 200 artists and 100 big names. People would be pretty surprised. A lot of music from our culture actually is dream inspired.
Now, something you don't know about me is I'm an award-winning jingle writer. Yeah, I did the American Red Cross, American Lung Association, some other things, and I wrote a song for Debbie Maycumber's movie "Call Me Mrs. Miracle" on Hallmark, blah blah blah. And theme songs for Honeywell Corporation, etc. I have had that happen myself, where I've had a yes, both, both, yeah.
The listeners might be interested to know that it's actually quite easy. It's almost like available for the asking by following us. We put them in tension. 6 out of 7 of the students in one of my classes actually had a musical dream for the first time on the first night.
Oh, come on, that's fabulous.
That's a pretty shocking number in statistics. It's not a huge sample, but 6 out of 7 is pretty good, and it seems to be a trend. So anybody who wants to get creatively inspired from music, dance, work, anything.
Now, Craig, you and I don't know each other. Are you calling in from LA or where are you? What time zone are you in?
I'm in Eastern time zone also.
Oh, you are? Okay. You in New York or where?
Based out of Montreal, actually.
Oh, you're in Montreal. Oh. Oh, yeah. I used to have a place up on Lake of Bays and would drive over to Montreal sometimes. And matter of fact, I think you'd get a kick. I'm just trying to make a connection here, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm telling Craig this. I used to record many of my jingles up in Canada in Westport, Ontario, because when I would go over the border as a young man in my 20s, my money would double. If somebody gave me $10,000 to do recordings, when I got to Canada, suddenly I had $20,000. It was very nice. Yeah, what's the exchange rate now?
I think it's about 130, moved around a few cents every week or so.
Now, I've been told that the Canadians actually prefer it when your dollar's weaker because the Americans end up doing more business with Canada. Is that still valid? Do you know?
I couldn't really tell you. I'm not too involved in all the trade schemes.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that incredible value, even of financial, very practical life nature, is available, like Paul McCartney's or Bono, our U2 lead singer. He actually dreamt a collaboration just directly in his dream. Example, he woke up with this new melody, just half awake state, before a big concert. Mystery Girl, she's a mystery to me. And he kind of had the melody and lyrics and said, that sounds like Roy Orbison. And he realized he was listening to the Blue Velvet soundtrack for the movie, and it has an Orbison song in there, In Dreams, which actually was inspired by dreams too, but not necessarily the point of this little story. So Bono said, okay, I'm gonna check this out. I don't see that new song, or I guess maybe I just wrote it, Mystery Girl. He was writing it that day in sound check. He played it for the other guys in the band, and he said, "Does this sound like Roy Orbison?" I dreamt this, and they said, "Sounds kind of Orbison, but I never heard it before." I just even after the concert, he was so intrigued by the melody, he was just working on it, and there's a knock at the door of the dressing room, Wembley Arena, and the guard says, "You'd be quite surprised, Bono, that Mr. Orbison is here with his wife to see you."
That's amazing.
He didn't even know he was in UK or didn't know where he was. He'd never met him before. And then he comes in. First thing he said was, "Hey, great concert, guys." And the second thing he said, like out of nowhere, was, "Hey, do you have a song for me?"
Oh my word.
And he did. And Bono produced "Mystery Girl" on Roy Orbison's last album. And Bono dreamt collaboration with Dylan, also Bob Dylan.
Now I know they're friends, and well, no, that's right, Sting. Bono. So did he do the song with Dylan or no?
They did it. He recorded it. They recorded it together, and Bono played it. They both played it separately in concert, but at the time, Dylan couldn't put his full name and put it on his album.
Why?
He was with the Traveling Wilburys at the time, but he does play it in concert occasionally.
What song is it?
That's a good question. I actually don't remember the exact name of the tune. It's not a super known one, but it did inspire those two pretty big names to collaborate together from then on.
Well, you know, I remember when I was up in Canada, and I've yet to purchase the book. And you ever go into a bookstore, and you know, I don't know about you, I love bookstores, I love libraries, but I pick up something, and then all of a sudden I'm driving down the street 2 hours later, and that book is swimming in my head, something I wrote. And suddenly I said, what book was that? I'd like to buy it. And it's too late because now I don't remember out of all the books I was checking out which one it was. But I remember picking up a book by Bono, and it was a rather large book. And he said,
I might reference it. He did write, do a ton of interviews in many books. But I did reference some of his writing when he actually says that he wakes up in the morning very excited, not just about the idea of making music, but or not just about making a million or making a hit song, just about making music generally, and that he often gets his melodies and dreams, and not just those two times.
yeah. So now, have you written a book about this?
Yes, available on Amazon for listeners who are interested. The Dreams Behind the Music, or they can go directly to dreamsbehindthemusic.com, learn a little more about it, about me, etc.
Now, what I'd like to, well, in your next book, you'll have to interview me so you can talk about some of my jingles.
So we definitely need to do an interview here.
Yeah, I think this is so great. Now, I want to talk about, for instance, like the Beatles. You said we know about Yesterday. Are there others besides Yesterday?
Yes, well, some of the stories conflict a little bit, but John Lennon actually said that Paul not only dreamt the melody there, started at scrambled eggs, not quite ham and eggs, but pretty close. And then he wasn't sure it was his. There's an interesting principle there in Dreamland that until the dreamer really owns the new creation, they might think that it belongs to somebody else or was invented. Roy Orbison felt that for his big hit in Dreams. He thought it was Elvis's song in the dream, but then he woke up and was like, wait, Elvis doesn't have this hit. There's this principle, and then after a month, McCartney owned Yesterday and said, okay, this is mine, staked his claim, so to speak. And then Lennon said he dreamt the title of it later. So interesting how once he owned it, then the rest kind of came. And that's a principle I've seen quite a bit.
The only problem with the music industry, though, is I had a song come to me about a year and a half ago, and in the dream, it was haunting. It was about the working class and the sweat. I forget what it's all about, but it was so haunting. Well, I woke up and I put it down on my iPhone, my audio, and I sang it into my iPhone. But what bothers me is that in the dream, I just thought, wow, this is a haunting classic. And I've always wondered, who doesn't want to write a classic? Like Bob Dylan wrote Blowing in the Wind. It was kind of like that. It was a song for the people, of the people, and the people that get dirt under their nails, the migrant workers. That's a Well, not really Springsteen, but for the migrant workers, for the hard-working people. But I don't want to. I wouldn't attempt to sing it over there, nor would I want to, because I wouldn't want somebody to steal at this point. But here's the problem, though, that I've always found in the music industry. I went to New York, and I got turned down by every publisher 3 times. I used to have a stack of rejection slips. I said, someday this is going to be my wall of success. It'll be my decoupage, all these rejection letters. But you know something? I gave up without giving up because all that rejection hurt so much. It's like, how do you get a song out now if you're famous like Sting or Bono or Bob Dylan or the Beatles? How do you get that song out there,
Well, nowadays there's lots of indie
I want to ask you something. Do you come to Florida?
Occasionally, I've been there a few times. Actually, swam with dolphins live there in Florida.
Oh,
Really
down
enjoyed it.
down in the Miranda, what's it called? The Keys?
Actually on the Gulf Coast.
On the Gulf Coast. I love the sunsets over there. Well, listen, we're on the other side. We're in Vero Beach.
Okay.
We're about an hour and 20 minutes southeast of Orlando. But the reason I'm asking you this is that I know most, can they say like 87 or 84% of all Canadians come to Florida annually, you know. So,
A lot of snowbirds, they call them, fly away from the winter.
yeah. So when you come down, though, I'm going to make it a tax write-off for you. Well, I presume in Canada you can write it off. I want you to come. I want you to come to our town, and I'm going to have you on my radio for a couple hours one morning, so we can talk even more about this. You know.
That would be excellent.
Yeah, but yeah, great. So after we get done in a few minutes, then we'll make sure we exchange phone numbers and stuff. But I'm so glad that you responded to my inquiry. Now, I want to ask you about other people because you have quite a list here. In fact, Craig Webb says over 20 Grammy wins can be linked directly to dreams. Wow.
And it's probably more like 40, 50, at least double that, but those are the official ones I could directly trace so far. For example, Beyonce, who is a pretty major Grammy winner, maybe even this weekend, is it? We'll see if she gets some more, but she actually dreamt the whole idea for her backup band, Sugar Mama, and they probably helped her win a bunch of Grammys. So there's a lot of gray zone of did it help win or did it actually directly win, but I'd say at least 20.
Now, Billy Joel, he gets $1 million for one night at Madison Square Garden. Well, he always, all he ever really wanted in life, so he says, is that he just wanted to be a working musician. And it's funny, for a lot of us, gosh, that's $1 million a night. Now he's not only doing it once a month, he's doing it weekly. And there's some people that go every week. It's like Madison Square Garden for that night has become Billy Joel's bar, and he just has such a great time with the audience, and people pay weekly to go see him. He's making $1 million a week, or at least $1 million a night.
What I call rock and roll shaman. Now he's a little bit more classical music, but
Yeah.
he says every melody he's ever written has been inspired by dreams. So
No.
channeling in some music. He says mostly the music, sometimes soundscape, and then once in a rare while lyrics. Even the whole album, in River of Dreams, in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
From Dreams. Not a big surprise when you think about it, but he actually details the source of it too.
Yeah, I've had a number of that. Now, what I want to know is, though, particularly when I was younger, I'm now in my 60s. When I was younger, I had a lot of songs come to me in my sleep. Although I told you even this year, I've had a couple of melodies come to me. So you said that you had a class, and out of 6 out of 7 students, you actually were able to inspire them the very first night they went home after meeting with you, and they had dreams, melodic dreams. Would you tell me how to do that so tonight I can try your technique?
Sure, great. And anybody can try it, so you don't have to be a big stellar musician. It's a bit more likely that if you're a musician, you'll have dreams with music because you can probably play with it or do a performance or songwrite. But anybody could have it, and you could also follow other questions. But just falling asleep, quiet your mind as much as possible. There's a number of techniques. And maybe super success if you're an artist. And then also maybe a little scenario visually around what that feeling would be like, I don't know, performing at the Grammys, or if you're a concert pianist or something, having a standing ovation or something. And then just fall asleep with that feeling and image, and then see what you get, like fishing. Quite possibly you'll have a dream with music, or a lot of musical dreamers report just as they wake, like not necessarily in the visual plot of the dream, but just sort of on a separate soundtrack channel comes to music. Is that how you get yours?
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll come, and the night that I have my recording device next to me, and I'll wake up and then I'll hum it into the recording device because, I know some people, like they said somebody was with somebody I was interviewing on my radio show. Who was it? Was it Judy Collins? Somebody anyway. They were with Bob Dylan that day that he stepped outside on the porch and he wrote Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there is no place I'm going to. You know, one hand waving free, and I mean, it's just such an exceptional song lyrically. And I wonder how I can't remember stuff, so I have to put stuff down on either a little micro cassette, and now of course my iPhone has replaced my micro cassette that I would have to buy every year or something, you know. But
Well, you'd be surprised. A lot of artists actually keep a recorder of some sort. Used to be cassette for me too. Now, like a digital cell phone or a digital recorder, or even just call your answering machine.
now Edison, you know Edison. If you come to you said you've been to the Gulf Coast. Have you been to Fort Myers and gone to the Thomas Edison's house over there? Oh, it's wonderful. What a wonderful tour. Pardon me? Yes. He used to say he would put a rock in his hand. He would take a nap in the afternoon and the rock. So when he fell asleep, he'd go to sleep asking a question. And then his hand would open up and then fall to the ground. It would wake him up and he had the solution.
Ball bearings, he said sometimes too. And he actually encouraged his employees to have little naps because he assumed overall it was more productive to get those big inspirations. So he's a pretty big one. He's actually in there because not too many people know he was pretty instrumental in getting the movie camera and also the soundtrack and the linking of sound and music together. He didn't actually invent the very first idea, but he produced it and brought the kinetoscope alive, which we now call the movie or TV.
Yeah.
So kind of the public dreams that we call TV or movies ended up coming from a private dream of Edison.
Well, Craig Webb, isn't it amazing that I'm talking into I don't know, a piece of metal that someone has hewn. It's going down this electric wire. It's being sent out, and you're listening to me in Montreal, Canada. It's going over the web now. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and then it's on iHeartRadio internationally. By the way, you can listen to us on iHeartRadio, WAXE. And I get calls from Canada now, people listening. Yeah, so get the free app. Now, so are you a professor?
No, not officially a professor. A teacher, I would say.
We're,
I'm always a student teacher, learning plenty every time I teach.
now, so is that how you make a living, teaching, or?
I do teaching. I do systems design. So I actually do dream research. So I run biofeedback, different devices to help people monitor physiology or enter altered states, sometimes for health, things like that.
Well, you and I have got to meet and talk more. I'm out of time for today, and the computer will automatically take us out in about 15 seconds for news. But what's your website? One more time, real quickly.
All right, dreamsbehindthemusic.com. Check it out.
Okay, don't hang up, all right? Because I want to talk to you off air, okay?
Great.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks, after the news.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Dr. Stein.
Are you there? Yeah. So, well, I'll tell you what, I've been. Yeah. It's amazing. Listen to this. So I'm very intuitive. Now, I dreamt of 911 in its entirety before it happened, and I have a witness. I was on Martha's Vineyard where I had rented a home, and I woke up. It was Saturday night. Pardon me? Oh no, just 2 days. I woke up and I said, oh, I've had this terrifying dream. I was running from all this soot. Now we've never had soot like that before. All the soot was in the air, and I'm running from it, and it's all in the air. And I thought it was when I woke up. I thought that must be debris from an atomic bomb. So I woke up and I said, well, in the dream actually there was a little man with a mustache, a dark-skinned man, thin-faced. Well, 6 months later they showed a youthful picture of Osama bin Laden, and that's the guy that I saw. And in the dream, the voices were saying, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? And I answered back and said, because of greed and power. They want greed and power. Anyway, so I woke up and I said to Claudia, I said, listen, they're going to, pardon me? Oh, dread. Not only that, I said they're going to strike New York or Washington. But both places they did strike. And when I took the train, this is the weirdest thing. I took the train from Florida. There's they call it a auto train. You put your automobile on there, and for some reason I had a gut feeling for 9 months before 911. I said, I don't know why, but I'm not getting on a jet this year. I have a bad feeling. That's a true story. But anyway, so I drive up to Washington D.C. and I get off with my car, and then I drive the rest of the way to Martha's Vineyard, which is good because it's the only time I ever had a car there. So I was able to drive myself home after 911. My only brother, by the way, drowned on 911. Now I had no warning of that, so I didn't save a single life. I don't know why I saw this, but when I got to Washington, I bought a card of the Capitol, and on it I sent it to my mom. Hi, how you doing? I hope some nut, this is what I said, I hope some nut doesn't do the unthinkable. This is only days before the event. And then I had the dream, and I told Claudia, I said that it's either going to strike New York or it's going to strike Washington. And she said, oh, just go back to sleep. It's only a dream. I said, no. I said, the back of my head was soaking wet. I was covered in sweat, and I had this feel, and I just was so upset. I said, nope, I'm in fear of the danger of the life of my president. That's what I said. So anyway, we go back to sleep. Of course, nothing happened Sunday. Nothing happened Sunday night. And of course, then we had Monday, the famous day. It was either Monday or Tuesday. I forget which day it was. But when, the matter of fact, after the first plane struck, I called my mom. My mom called me and said, "Oh, this has been struck." I said, "Uh-oh, there's going to be another one, Mom," because I dreamt that there were two, you know. And I said, "There's going to be another one," and sure enough. So anyway, and then I had another instance. After my brother died on 911, then my mom died, and then a relationship with a young lady ended. So I started drinking a lot of Glenlivet Scotch. And at the age of 50 years of age, I got a little addicted to Scotch. So I ended up in Alcoholics Anonymous. Have you ever heard of it? Oh, yeah. And so I'm about to speak one day, and there we go. Are you there? I was about to speak one day, and I didn't know in front of this large crowd, and I didn't know what I was going to say. So help me God, this is the truth. Not asleep. I closed my eyes and prayed to God, and I had a vision of these men in an old-time biblical boat, the type I've never seen before. I looked it up later on, Googled it, and it is biblical times. Anyway, these men were in the boat, and I was in the water with my hands raised, like drowning man, saying, like, help me, and they were leaning down to help me up into the boat. And I saw it like a movie. I saw this movie. So then I opened up my eyes, and of course I knew what I was going to speak about, the fact that in this AA group that we help each other. And because of so that's yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Really? Who got it? Yeah. Yeah, we should do what's the title of your book again? The Dreams Behind the Music. Why don't you, if you're okay with it, send me a review copy, and then I will make sure you put all your contact info in at the beginning of the book. Again, write it in there, and then when I get that, I can peruse it, and then I'll call you back, and we'll do another interview. Because, pardon me? Oh yeah, that was live. Yeah, you were on WAXE on iHeartRadio. Yeah. Well, I was just about to go on, and the phone rang, and it said no ID. Well, I have some famous friends that call me. Of course, they have no ID, like Debbie Maycomber, the New York Times bestselling author. So I figured, well, it might be Debbie, That's why I took it. So, yeah. So, no problem, no problem. My email address is Rhett, RHETT. Oh yeah, at AOL.com. Yeah, is that how it came through? At Vero's Voice. Rhett at verosvoice.com. Okay, well, Radio Red is fine too. Radio Red at AOL.com. That's one. Let me give you my personal cell too. Well, that's the one you called. Yeah, the 7777. And if you want to send me a review copy, can I give you the address? 95 Royal Palm Point? Yeah, yeah. Now, what number? I'd like to put you in my phone too. What is the number where I can reach you? 514-990, yes. 2113. And okay, and it's Craig, W-E-B-B, W-E-B-B, okay, Craig. Yeah, so radio, TV. Actually, I heard about my fiance just sent it to me this morning and said, take a look at the last one. You were at the bottom of the list for they send 10 people. Every a couple of days they'll send a potential of, I don't know how they found out about you, but it's called Radio TV Interview Report. If you want to look that up, just go to Radio TV Interview, RTIR. RTIR. Oh, yeah. I think it's totally cool because, you know, I'd had somebody tell me about a year ago that there was somebody very famous, but they wouldn't tell me who, often gets their dreams and they rush out to the to get them copywritten immediately before someone else gets them. And I didn't know if that was Beyonce or it was Billy Joel, but it sounds like it was one of them, you know.
Community Health provides local health care for all people. No one is turned down to an inability to pay. Your generous support can help many in need. TCCH is a nonprofit SOIC.
Yeah.
Donations accepted via
Yeah, we're afraid someone else will get it.
www.tcch.
Well, there's not a song. You're a songwriter too.
.org or call Treasure Coast Community Health at 772
Really?
571
Yeah. Well, then, as you know, there's not a songwriter alive where we haven't had something come to us and go, well, where'd that come from?
What's new? How about a new year with a new president and some new ideas for fine-tuning your retirement? Listen to Retire for Real with your host, David Brooks, Friday mornings at 11 and Saturday mornings at 8, right here on WAXC 107.9 FM and 1370 AM.
Good morning, Vero Beach. Welcome to the Financial Pulse Radio Show. I'm your host, Danny Howe, CEO of East Coast Tax and Financial Planning firm right here on the island. Well, welcome. I hope everybody has had a great week. I know we have. We're in the thick of tax season, and of course, here at East Coast Tax and Financial Planning, we do taxes for small to medium-sized businesses. We actually do full service accounting and bookkeeping and that kind of thing.
Hold on a second. I'm asking the turn. Could you turn all the headsets down, please? I can't hear on the phone.
As well. So if you need that,
Okay, hold on.
go to our website. There's a
I'm
really
gonna turn
great
down the
offer
headsets.
there.
I can't hear what you're saying. Okay. Thank you.
Cut off the headphones.
No, this is good. You know what I was just thinking? You know what I could do is some of these things that are unfinished. Do you play piano or guitar or what? Yeah, that's the same with me. I was just thinking, maybe I should take one of the things that I couldn't complete in a dream, and I could send it to you, and we could collaborate on something. Maybe you'd have maybe you'd get the second half. Wouldn't that be funny? You know? Yeah. Yeah, I used to go up to Canada a lot. I love it up there. All right. Yeah, they're a little long. I understand that. I got tired of the snow, but Montreal is such a great historic. Actually, Barbara's son wanted to go there. He ended up just getting his doctorate in archaeology at McMaster over in Hamilton, but he wanted to attend that famous school. We went all through Montreal. What's the famous? Yes. No, McGill. It's McGill. Yeah. Oh, you went there? Yeah. Yeah, and if you end up coming to Florida, give me notice, at least a week in advance so I can make sure I hold a spot for you. And then you can drive over or, you know, that way you come into the studio and we can just chat it up for 2.5 hours in the morning. Yeah, we could actually set it up where we could play some of the songs. And then, yeah. Yeah, yeah, and then, oh yeah, and also you could take the recording then and use it wherever you want it to, like on your website or something. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, well, I'm here, so I've got your number. I'm going to put it in my phone as soon as we hang up my cell phone. You've got my cell phone number, and don't be shy about staying in touch. Yeah. Okay, I will. Yeah. You too, Craig. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll let it stay on the back burner for 2 weeks and then it's. Okay. I know. Everything else is nice here. Rhett me the light from the room that, this is working out great. The dual light here. Yeah, so it's, working out great for me, for the board, and, gets the fluorescence out of my eye. Okay, so this works out. It's nice and easy in the control room. Rhett would say. It's nice and intimate in the control room. Are you still awake, Mr. Dean? Oh, I'm still having a ball. Well, sometimes I gotta pull it back in. Present books, I have cue cards, I have bells, I have whistles, I have.
Legal
And it still does.
at this point.
So I have to cut commercials. I mean, either that or they're gonna be cut by wax. So. Okay. And Shane did, so number 3, Shane did sign the envelope that you left here, so it's still where it was, and it's back with the, on the table over here. Okay, and you can let Kathy know that Shane signed that. Okay. Other than that, thank you for the check. I'll probably put it in late this afternoon, so it goes into tomorrow's business for the bank. Who dated it today?
Okay, Carol's into it.
I'll see you Monday. I told Bill, I said, don't be surprised if you get a call after 9 o'clock from Orlando on the phone. So I showed him how to put the phone on there. I'm gonna call Rhett and say hello. And I brought in Entenmann's Donuts the other day. Well, that's okay because I brought in a organic veggie tray today. Oh, okay, Mr. B, you got yourself back. He's a crazy. Well, you got guests coming in, so, So, I said, they're for guests, don't look at them. So he took the veggie tray into the studio with him. They're mine. All right. Yes, I will, and
I don't want that. Here.
Talk to you over a weekend. Have a good weekend. I'm watching emails anyway, so. And I will be in Monday. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Barber know that this guy, too bad he wasn't in more than one segment, but it's too bad you couldn't call him and set up a recording for segments. This guy was really interesting. The dreams about the guy.
Oh, yeah.
This guy off.
Yeah.
And he'll be good for the magazine. You know, how these people, these big artists, they don't just get, like you were saying, you get you dream about a song and then you record it.
Should I do an interview? Maybe have him write an article.
Yeah, I told Barbara to check with you on that. I know you were talking to him afterwards, and I don't know.
That's a
if
good
you
idea. I
said
think I'll call him right now.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. And so are those other ladies today. But the segment's got to be pulled out.
Yeah, we need to play that the first half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I write a song that's really good too, you got to learn. We got to get you to learn how to edit.
Yeah, I know.
Because you'll be good at that.
Shane said to me that we'll set up a time after I get back from Orlando.
But you're keeping books on everything like no one ever before, right? You're keeping books on who's on, who we replay.
Yes.
I want you to do that.
The segments we replay, but not who's been on your show. I can't keep all that book. I think you do, don't you?
No.
The guests?
What about the guests?
You keep a log of who's been on your show.
The thing is, what I found out when you were away, we're handing out sheets. Those sheets don't even have a place for the email address. We need email addresses more than anything.
We've got them all. We got them all.
It doesn't even have a spot on there for email.
Yes, we do.
Not on the one I saw.
Well, people put it says email address. I need more.